After I retired, I became a real rich man entertainment circle author, Feng Duandan copywriting. Liu Wengxing was very puzzled. Obviously he was able to sing, dance, and act with a beauty that the entire entertainment circle envied, but he went through the center of the earth. Until he had a dream. In his dream, he is just a character in a book, and the ending is already doomed. All his efforts are not worth mentioning under Wen Yu's protagonist's halo. Because he is a cannon fodder to set off the protagonist. Liu Wengxing didn't want to play with him, so a letter of cancellation was handed to the agent. Unexpectedly, the next day he became popular unexpectedly because of a video. What? Milky and sassy brother, I can. Crowdfunding invites little brother to make his debut. Are you Wengxing who is about to leave the entertainment circle? The entire city of C knows that Wen's family has a little prince who is loved by thousands of people. His first birthday banquet is ostentatious and luxurious, and he has made headlines because of this. But what they didn't know was that Wen Yu was not the little prince of the Wen family. He was adopted from the orphanage, and the real little prince was abducted when he was young and has not been found yet. When the paternity test report came out, Wen's family couldn't wait to find Liu Wengxing, cautiously, for fear of scaring him. Little Singer, can you go home with dad? Xiao Singer, sir brother, okay. Little Singer, can you let mom hug you? Number. The popular traffic Liu Wengxing was actually the lost little prince of Wen's family. Number. The princess chooses me, I am super sweet. You all go away, I am the real princess. The actor Gu Yunshan, who hasn't posted a Weibo for several months, quietly went online at, mine. Please look Demon 1. Suishuang brainless little white text, logically feed the JJ server, ask is to draw, 2. Overhead world, non-reality to the entertainment circle, no prototype, please do not bring into the three-dimensional 3. Change the bug as much as possible, refer to the first article if you can't, bow and thank for. Do not arrogant glass heart, scold me all to bounce back 5. Entertainment Circle's article, to avoid the thunder of the Entertainment Circle content tag, Rich Family Entertainment Circle Sweet Wen Chuang Wen search keywords, protagonist, Liu Wengxing, accepted, Gu Yunshan, attack, supporting actor, others, one sentence introduction, later, I became a popular top streamer purpose, pursue dreams and be positive brief comment on works. Liu Wengxing mistakenly thought that he was the cannon fodder in the novel, and he decided to leave the entertainment circle without wanting to be a companion. However, Gu Yunshan, the actor, was selected as a variety show partner, and he became a hit overnight and successfully won the movie role. One day, he was surrounded by others, and the passing tyrant helped him. What he didn't expect was that President Ba was his own brother, and he was the lost young master of the rich. After returning to the rich, Liu Wengxing was unwilling to give up his dream. In the end, through his own efforts, he became a popular top in the entertainment industry. This article depicts an ideal entertainment circle, with a relaxed and warm story, smooth writing, and funny plot. Although it is a common entertaining business career, there is no lack of novelty in the routines. It can be seen from the concept that the protagonist has a positive life goal. While chasing his dreams, he also harvested a sweet love. What kind of rival is Liu Wengxing? He looks good, and we have no advantage to stand with him. Cheng Yuan gave a tisk. What is there to worry about for a beautiful trash? Today is a variety show guest, not a draft. Just in case. Cheng Yuan interrupted him. Last week Sister Man asked Liu Wengxing to accompany director Zhang. Liu Wengxing was unwilling to smash director Jiang's head. You said Sister Man could easily forgive him. The little star's eyes lit up suddenly. That's true, how would Sister Man punish him? Liu Wengxing's magazine endorsements have been taken away, maybe even today's variety show interview will not participate. Really? If this is the case, it would be a pleasant surprise. The smile on the corner of the little star's mouth rose slightly, followed by a mockery. They are all small 18 lines. Lu Wengxing can't find the casting director. Is it possible that he still wants to accompany the chief director? The casting director has limited rights, so he will choose a small supporting role. Wengxing Lu considers himself so high-minded, he might really look down on him, maybe he already. Boom! The door was pushed open vigorously, making a loud noise. When he saw Lu Wengxing standing at the door, the little star turned pale and hung his head quickly, afraid to look at Lu Wengxing's expression. Unlike the little star's panic, Cheng Yuan has always been at odds with Lu Wengxing. He is not afraid that Lu Wengxing will hear him, so he went on to say just now. The gold master has been found. Cheng Yuan's gaze fell on Lu Wengxing's sneakers, his voice contemptuous, these shoes are 10,000 yuan smaller. Lu Wengxing didn't even give him a look, and went straight to the empty seat, pulling a chair away and sitting on the opposite side of the two. He leaned back in the chair leisurely, stretched his long legs forward, slouching. Just when Cheng Yuan thought Lu Wengxing would not be able to talk to him, Lu Wengxing spoke. Disappointed. Without beginning and ending, Cheng Yuan felt confused and almost blurted out, "What? You are not allowed to accompany Zhang Zhenkan, you are sorry." Lu Wengxing raised his eyes and looked at Cheng Yuan. "What nonsense are you talking about?" Cheng Yuan retorted too quickly, squatting, Who would regret that kind of thing?" "Oh." Lu Wengxing replied casually, "I thought you wanted to go." "Lu Wengxing." Cheng Yuan stood up abruptly while propping up the table. "What makes me want to go, when do I want to? What's the noise?" Agent Wang Man stepped in on high heels. "I heard you yelling in the hallway. Is the company where you quarrel?" "Sister Man." Cheng Yuan turned off the flame instantly and stood quietly aside. The little star also stood up hurriedly and cautiously yelled "Sister Man." Wang Man ignored Cheng Yuan and said to the two artists behind him, "You two find your own seats." "Good." The two artists were more cautious and agreed quickly, but Wang Man didn't sit, and they didn't dare to sit. Cheng Yuan and Little Star stood there silently, only Lu Wengxing leaned back on the chair without any burden. Wang Man's gaze fell, and she glanced at Lu Wengxing, who had the word rebellious written all over her body. She frowned when she thought of the beatings last week. "Lu Wengxing, what do you look like now?" Lu Wengxing followed Wang Man's words and looked at himself up and down. "I think it's good. Today he is wearing a white hooded sweater, a jacket, a pair of ripped jeans, and new sneakers on his feet. This is a birthday gift from his adoptive mother." Wang Man's face turned dark, and he patted the documents in his hand on the table. "Break Director Jiang's head, which is pretty good. Why didn't you beat me together?" "If Sister Man intends to unspoken rules for me," Lu Wengxing replied calmly. Wang Man stared at Lu Wengxing with big eyes with cosmetic contact lenses, and scolded angrily. "Lu Wengxing, because of your impulse, the artists of Mang Orange Entertainment missed the opportunity to cast roles in the TV series. Can you afford the loss alone?" The leadership of Mang Cheng Entertainment invited Zhang Zhenkan to dinner last week, and a consensus has been reached in private. Zhang Zhenkan will give priority to selecting suitable small supporting roles or special actors from Mang Orange Entertainment. But Lu Wengxing didn't know much about it, so he saved Zhang Zhenkan's face in public and beat him up. This caused Zhang Zhenkan to move to Mang Orange Entertainment, and all his artists were removed from the casting list. Wang Man has been scolded by the leader for 2 days for this matter, and now he gets angry when he sees Lu Wengxing. Among the few people present, except Cheng Yuan's mentality of watching the show, everyone else wanted to hide, for fear that they would be affected by Wang Man's anger. Lu Wengxing, who was in the center of his anger, was nothing but Wang Man's heart attack. "If you are smarter, go and apologize to Director Zhang and invite him to dinner. I will not give you any resources until he forgive you." Wang Man didn't give up on Lu Wengxing's irritation. She stared at Liu Wengxing and slowed down her voice with a mocking tone. When you joined the company about the same time as you. Now he has appeared in 2 web dramas and has received a lot of endorsements. There will be variety shows, movies and more resources to find him. And you? Even the big screen. I haven't been, the mud can't support the wall. Worrying that other people would follow suit, Wang Man slapped Liu Wengxing harshly and warned other artists at the same time. You are obedient, and I will give you another chance. Otherwise, I will get out of the entertainment circle as soon as possible. I have no time to spend with you. Yes, Sister Man's time is precious. Liu Wengxing echoed, a triumphant smile appeared at the corner of Wang Man's mouth. She raised her chin arrogantly, waiting for Liu Wengxing to admit her mistake. However, Liu Wengxing's voice changed, and Wang Man's smile froze on his face. That's right, let's cancel the contract. The conference room suddenly fell into silence, and several artists looked at each other. Liu Wengxing is crazy, dare to challenge Wang Man like that. Wang Man laughed directly. Want to terminate the contract, right? Okay. 10 million in liquidated damages, you can leave after paying. Wang Man's eyes fell on Liu Wengxing's sneakers, and he sneered. Your sponsor is willing to spend 10,000 yuan to buy you sneakers, but it doesn't mean that he is willing to spend 10 million yuan in penalty. Liu Wengxing didn't explain, he took out his mobile phone from his pocket, and under Wang Man's gaze, clicked on the recording to play. A clear female voice followed, and the flattery could be heard through the phone. Director Zhang, if you can see Liu Wengxing, it's his luck. If you don't see it, Mangcheng Entertainment has other artists. The owner of the voice is Wang Man, followed by Zhang Zhenkin's vigorous voice. Liu Wengxing is a good seedling in the entertainment industry. I like hard-working and motivated people. Let's do this. You let him at night. Those ambiguous words that followed were interrupted by Liu Wengxing's pause button. As soon as Wang Man changed his arrogance, his face changed again. Liu Wengxing, you can discuss anything if you don't want to. It's the same for me to find another artist on Director Zhang. Liu Wengxing was too calm. Wang Man worried that he had other recordings in his hand, suppressing the anger in his heart, and in turn appeased Liu Wengxing. KM's endorsement can be returned to you. Also? Liu Wengxing sneered in his heart. Wang Man took a deep breath and forced himself to calm down. You should know that actor Gu will come to select variety show guests this afternoon. You have an advantage in appearance and you have a high chance of being selected. Liu Wengxing kept silent, and Wang Man gritted his teeth and continued, no matter how much you think about it, it is really not a wise choice to terminate the contract. No need. Liu Wengxing didn't want to show Wang Man's face, so he stood up and left the meeting room. Wang Man has a deep mind. It is not the first time he speaks the vernacular without words. He just wants to trick Liu Wengxing into deleting the recording. Liu Wengxing is not fooled, whether it is the endorsement of KM or the guest of the show selected by the film Emperor Gu, it will only be when you. Because the world he lives in is the world of a novel called Popular Top Stream. Wen Yu is the protagonist of this novel, and the actor Gu Yunshan is the protagonist. As for Liu Wengxing, he is a cannon fodder supporting the protagonist. In the original book, the protagonist is concealed from the wealthy status, relying on his own efforts to gain a foothold in the entertainment industry. Since entering the entertainment industry, Wang Man has followed the protagonist all the time and is more thoughtful than a life assistant. Just to please the protagonist, because she had known that the protagonist was from a wealthy family. The protagonist Xiao entered into the public eye through the endorsement of KM magazine, and because of participating in the same variety show as the protagonist, his popularity has doubled more than 10 times, and he has become a popular idol from the 18th line star. Liu Wengxing hated the protagonist for taking his own resources to become popular, he was jealous, framed the protagonist several times, angered the protagonist's fan group. Fans teamed up to expose Liu Wengxing's crimes, and sending Liu Wengxing to hot search was accused and abused by a large number of netizens. Liu Wengxing's adoptive father lost his job, and her adoptive mother was threatened by extreme fans by sending animal carcasses, which caused a heart attack and died. Even Xie Qinfei, his younger brother in high school, committed suicide by jumping off the building due to campus violence and unbearable pressure from rumors. Cannon fodder Liu Wengxing encountered a mentally ill who had fled, was hit by the opponent's car and became disabled, and was accompanied by a wheelchair for life. If Liu Wengxing himself was the only one in the miserable situation in the dream, he would not care at all. But the scene in the dream was confirmed several times, and Liu Wengxing couldn't help being cautious. Although he doesn't know who his biological parents are, his adoptive parents are kind to him. Liu Wengxing, who has lost his family once, cherishes the hard-won family affection, and he does not want his family to get into trouble. Wengxing Liu himself does not do the stupid things in the book, but in case the world of this book induces a compulsory plot, he may not be able to control his behavior. After careful consideration, Liu Wengxing decided to terminate the contract. Regardless of whether the plot will be forced to happen, what can be done right now is to stay away from the entertainment industry and away from the protagonist. Of course, it is impossible to terminate the contract with the recording alone. It is not only the private pimping business of Mang Orange Entertainment, but also other film and television companies. Even if Liu Wengxing passes the recording to the entertainment media, it may involve too much, and the entertainment media may not dare to explode. He needs a more favorable bargaining chip. Ding dong! The WeChat prompt interrupted Liu Wengxing's thinking, and the voice message was Liu Wengxing's university roommate. Star Cub, you Mang Orange Entertainment is so awesome right now. I heard that a director went to your cast a few days ago, and today there is also an actress Gu to choose a variety show guest. Before Wengxing had time to reply, his roommate made another voice, slightly excited. That's recording a variety show with the actor. You said you look so good looking. If Gu Yunshan is a face controller? Is it possible to choose you right? No way. Liu Wengxing, holding the plot, broke the roommate's illusion and walked towards the bathroom. Don't be so naive, where does the actor come to choose the guests? People come to choose the concubine. After he finished speaking the last word, he raised his eyes and ran into Gu Su and Fei Yanshen who was washing his hands. The two looked at each other through the mirror, and the air temporarily stagnated. Liu Wengxing put the phone in his pocket without embarrassment. It was less than 2:30. He remembered that Wang Man had notified the interview time in the group to be 3 o'clock, Gu Yunshan came too early. Of course, this is not what Liu Wengxing should consider, as if nothing happened, he put on a business smile. Hello, Teacher Gu, you came really early. Gu Yunshan took out 2 paper towels and slowly wiped the drops of water on his hands, leaving Liu Wengxing a cold side face. But Liu Wengxing has no time to appreciate it, he is not sure if Gu Yunshan heard what he said. After a few seconds, Liu Wengxing felt that he should be more diligent, such as going to the bathroom downstairs. Sorry, I went wrong. After Liu Wengxing turned around to leave, Gu Yan's cold voice suddenly sounded behind him. Why, do you still want to enter the women's toilet? Liu Wengxing. That's right. Liu Wengxing paused and turned around, as if nothing had happened, he calmly walked into the bathroom. Gu Yunshan threw the paper towel into the trash can, and when he passed Liu Wengxing's side, his eyes stopped, and his eyes fell on his left ear. A silver-white star-stud earrings. When Liu Wengxing turned his head to look, Gu Yunshan had already retracted his gaze and left the bathroom. Buzzing. Liu Wengxing just came out of the cubicle and received a WeChat call from his roommate. Star Cub, why did you go? It disappeared halfway through. Liu Wengxing's joke was sent out, as if it was cut off abruptly. He didn't even reply to a few WeChat messages, so he called. Thanks to you, let me have a face-to-face meeting with King Gu. Liu Wengxing tilted his head and clamped the phone on his shoulders, A pair of slender and beautiful hands reached under the faucet, and Lu Wengxing couldn't help but stop because of the cold tap water. There was an undisguised surprise in the roommate's tone. You ran into Gu Yunshan? Are real people more handsome than on TV? Well, handsome. Lu Wengxing replied perfunctorily, took 2 pieces of paper, and carefully dried his hands. Did you make a good impression on him? I don't participate in the interview. Lu Wengxing explained again, the agent has a limited number of places, and not all artists can participate. What Lu Wengxing didn't tell his roommate was that his name was on the list at the beginning, but because he beat Zhang Zhenkin last week, Wang Man was removed from the interview list. The roommate felt sorry and was a bit unfair. Does your agent have bad eyes? Just your look, I'm not convinced that the entertainment industry is top-notch without you. It doesn't have to be so exaggerated. Lu Wengxing interrupted him funny. Where is the exaggeration? You don't know that in the first few weeks of your freshman year, posts about you were swiped on the campus website for several pages. I suspect that your agent signed you for the sake of hiding you. It doesn't matter if you don't fight for resources for you, and you have cut your head a few times. How can there be such an agent? Lu Wengxing said in his heart, this is wrong. Wang Man was quite attentive to him, especially eager to put Lu Wengxing on the bed of the gold master. The roommate thought Lu Wengxing didn't want to talk about it, so he didn't continue the topic, and instead asked him, when will you go back to school? The final design will be handed in next week. I'm in the company and I'll be back to school in a while. Since he decided to terminate the contract, Lu Wengxing didn't want to get back the truncated resources. For him, the most important thing at the moment is to complete the final design, and then plan to terminate the contract with the company. Lu Wengxing, who was going to return to school early, was waiting for the elevator in the corridor. A grey-haired young man walked across the corridor. Before Lu Wengxing greeted him, a bear hugged Lu Wengxing. Stars, good stars. Lu Wengxing's eyelids twitched, tearing the person off himself. Wei Ziyi. Don't talk, stand in a staggered row in the front row and the back row. In the practice room stood a group of artists. Gu Yunshan and his agent Sheng Chao were sitting in the front chairs of the practice room, accompanied by several senior leaders. Director Su handed the roster to Gu Yunshan's agent, Sheng Chao, and when he turned his head, he saw Wang Man pacing back and forth with a worried expression on his face. What are you doing? Frizzy. Wang Man was brought out by Director Su before, and she knew that Director Su was dissatisfied with her performance only by looking at her expression, but she couldn't control that much. She whispered. Wen Yu hasn't arrived yet. Director Su's face changed immediately. Did you not inform Wen Yu to arrive earlier? Wen Yu went to shoot a magazine today, and I didn't expect it would take so long. Ziyu's magazine endorsement was originally scheduled to be Lu Wengxing, but Wang Manzai gave Wen Yu to Wen Yu. Unexpectedly, the shooting time accidentally ran into a variety show interview. Is anyone there yet? Sheng Chao heard the conversation between the two and cast a questioning look. Director Su glared at Wang Man, then turned to smile at Sheng Chao, and said apologetically. I'm sorry, there is another artist who hasn't arrived. Director Su has seen Gu Yunshan for the first time, but she has heard from people in the circle that Gu Yunshan seems to have no airs, but he is cold-tempered and doesn't like fake politeness. He often doesn't save face. The most important thing is that everyone knows, Gu Yunshan once publicly disclosed that he most dislikes people who are not punctual. Director Su took a deep breath, and he had just met Gu Yunshan's minefield. In order not to leave a worse impression on Gu Yunshan, Director Su thought for a few seconds, raised a professional smile, and made a decisive decision. I know Mr. Gu's schedule is full, and for those who are late, I will ask the agent to tell him not to participate. I'm here early. Gu Yan cast his eyes down and glanced at his watch. Wait 10 minutes. Hearing Gu Yunshan's words, Director Su's eyes widened in disbelief. Did she hear that right? Not only did Gu Yunshan show no unhappiness, he even was willing to wait. Director Su felt a little magical and nodded dumbly. Thank you, Teacher Gu, I'll let the agent urge you. Sheng Chao raised his eyebrows to look at Gu Yunshan, and said directly, you are not right. Gu Yan pointed to the watch deeply and motioned Sheng Chao to look down at the time. 2:51. It was 9 minutes earlier than the scheduled time, but it's also not right. Since you are participating in an interview, you should have made sufficient preparations in advance. If this is an audition for a movie or TV series, most of the artists will arrive 1 hour earlier, or even earlier. Gu Yan waited deeply for these 10 minutes, tisk, elusive. Buzzing. The phone in his pocket vibrated a few times, and Gu Yan took out the phone and clicked on WeChat. Get up earlier than the chicken. Have you seen the stars in my house? Get up earlier than the chicken. Remember to sign for me, you promised me. No promise. As soon as Gu Yunshan's news was sent out, a dozen WeChat bombings were received one after another. He knew who sent it without looking at the phone, and he didn't click in to see it. Sheng Chao glanced inadvertently, and was ugly by the colorful rooster on the chat interface, and the blue veins on his forehead jumped up and down. Your brother. Okay. He asked what you want again. Gu Yunshan put the phone in his pocket, his tone was light, signature. Sheng Chao was a little speechless, but didn't ask much. It is not the first time that he has asked for an autograph for Gu Yunshan's brother. The main reason is that Gu Yunshan's younger brother is a grassroots man. He can fan several idols a year. He has a true feeling of fanning every time. In the end, he ends up turning black with idols exploding all kinds of black powder. So, did you wait 10 more minutes because of this? Gu Yunshan did not deny it, but in fact, as Gu Yunshan's agent, Sheng Chao went to ask for an autograph on his behalf, and the artists of Mangcheng Entertainment would only be flattered. Of course, Sheng Chao didn't care about this little thing either, he was more concerned about the selection of guests. In the early years, Gu Yunshan was not as indifferent as he is now, he still has the heart to love and talents, and he is willing to give a hand when he meets talented newcomers. However, most of the newcomers are not right in their minds, eager to seek success and just want to take shortcuts, taking care of the small profits in front of them, and picking up Gu Yunshan's hype. Later, Gu Yunshan didn't have much contact with newcomers, and if the work required it, he would do business on an official basis. This variety show is undoubtedly an opportunity for these artists. Being able to participate in variety shows with the movie actor, Sheng Chao does not believe that these artists can stand by themselves and keep their crooked minds. Moreover, this is the first outdoor reality show that Gu Yunshan participated in. It has attracted much attention before it was officially announced. Even the free choice of partners by 3 major entertainment circles has aroused heated discussion among netizens. The request of the director group was for 3 big entertainment stars, including Gu Yunshan, to go to different entertainment companies to choose their own partners. Gu Yunshan got the information of Mang Orange Entertainment. Although they are interviewing guests, they are actually choosing teammates for themselves, and the director team will not interfere in how to choose. Some artists questioned it. No, just take a look, how do I know if it's a natural teammate? The answer from the director is yes. It's not for participating in the draft, you can just look happy. You really don't want to pick it. Choose the best looking one for me. Now it's good looking. The director has another requirement. The selected artist must be someone who rarely shows his face on the big screen, preferably a pure rookie. This is all about choosing a partner by fate, and whether the partner selected in the end fits with you, that's another matter. Sheng Chao was sad, but Gu Yunshan looked indifferent, he was like a worried old mother. Hey! Hiss! The short inhalation sound was slightly abrupt in the quiet practice room. Everyone turned their heads and looked out, only to see Lu Wengxing and Wei Ziyi standing at the door, and the inhalation sound was made by Wei Ziyi unconsciously. Because of the excitement, they pinched themselves in pain. What are they doing here? The artists in the practice room talked a lot. I heard that Lu Wengxing has been removed from the list, how can he appear here? Lu Wengxing stood there generously, as if he hadn't noticed everyone's sights. Wei Zimao was lying awkwardly hiding behind Lu Wengxing, holding Lu Wengxing's arms nervously, with a white face. A thin touch of red appeared on the top. Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Before Wei Ziyi finished speaking, Wang Man interrupted her, frowning her face with anger. Lu Wengxing, what do you want to do here? Leave me quickly. Lu Wengxing originally planned to leave, but he was reluctant to move when he heard Wang Man's words. In the conference room just now, Wang Man drew big and round pie, and talked about endorsements and variety shows, just to lure Lu Wengxing to hand over the recording. When Lu Wengxing was not fooled, Wang Man paused for a while. But she was only worried that Lu Wengxing was unobstructed and said something that shouldn't be said. Wei Ziyi was frightened by Wang Man's angry look. Standing behind Lu Wengxing, he dared not move, and couldn't help regretting the impulse just now. He is a fan of Gu Yunshan. He didn't dare to look at him secretly. He pestered Lu Wengxing to accompany him to take a look, unexpectedly causing Lu Wengxing to be implicated. Lu Wengxing took his left hand out of Wei Ziyi's arms. Before he could say something, Gu Yunshan, who was sitting in the practice room, suddenly spoke. Again, wrong. Lu Wengxing. Gu Yunshan's tone is familiar, and the word you is hard not to evoke imagination. Lu Wengxing didn't know what to complain about for a while. Could it be said that the unknown hobby of the high-cold actor is ridicule? Lu Wengxing felt as if he had discovered the truth, and looked at Gu Yunshan with inexhaustible words, with a dry tone. Nothing went wrong. Gu Yunshan, so you are late. Director Su did not tell Gu Yunshan who was late, so that after seeing Lu Wengxing, Gu Yunshan mistook him for the late artist. Lu Wengxing's eyes are full of doubts. Late? What's late? What's the situation? Brother Shen knows Lu Wengxing. No, I haven't heard of it either. The sound in the practice room increased, and Director Su scolded with a cold face, what is the noise, be quiet. Compared with Wang Man's guilty conscience and nervousness, Director Su observed carefully. She couldn't figure out the relationship between Gu Yunshan and Lu Wengxing, but Gu Yunshan's tone didn't seem to treat a disgusting person. Seeing that Gu Yunshan had misunderstood again, she stepped forward decisively. Lu Wengxing, why are you so slow? The interview will start right away, so why don't you come in quickly? Lu Wengxing? Director Su winked at Lu Wengxing several times, but the other party accepted the failure. Teacher Gu is very busy, don't waste time, come in as soon as possible. Director Su secretly cursed a idiot in his heart, and laughed in front of Gu Yunshan. Wengxing Lu hadn't expressed his opinion yet. Wei Ziyi beside him reacted faster, thinking that he would create an interview opportunity for Lu Wengxing, and happily pushed Lu Wengxing. Stars, go in. Gu Yunshan saw that something was wrong, and Lu Wengxing's reaction did not seem to be coming for an interview. Even Sheng Chao on the side felt strange, he is the late artist. Right, right, right. Director Su quickly responded, it's him. Director Su is different from Wang Man. Wang Man is Wen Yu who chooses his own interests. But as the director, she must stand from the company's standpoint. The appearance of Lu Wengxing's accidental collision is more timely than Wen Yu, so it is better to let Lu Wengxing replace Wen Yu. When Lu Wengxing saw Wang Man's iron-green face, he immediately felt comfortable all over. Anyway, there are so many people, it's okay to have one more of him, and it can add to Wang Man's congestion. Everyone is here, so let's start. When Sheng Chao opened his mouth, the artist was apprehensive and delighted. Starting from the left in the first row, introduce yourself in 1 minute. Hello, Teacher Gu, my name is Zhang Lin, I am 19 years old and I debuted last year. I am good at singing, dancing and diddy. As soon as the timer went off, another person had to come up before finishing talking. Halfway through the self-introduction, Lu Wengxing realized that something was wrong. Why was the protagonist Xiao Wenyu not present? The plot of this novel is not very detailed in Lu Wengxing's dream. He only knows that his endorsement will be cut off, and the protagonist will be jealous and the protagonist will enter the variety show. But Lu Wengxing is not clear about the plot and details in the middle. Now that Wenyu is not there, how did Gu Yunshan choose Wenyu? Lu Wengxing couldn't help thinking divergently. If Wenyu really wasn't selected, would it be because of the butterfly effect that he proposed to terminate the contract? The last one. Lu Wengxing was still distracted, and the appearance of being outside was out of touch with the tense atmosphere in the practice room. It wasn't until someone hit his arm that Lu Wengxing recovered his senses in a daze. "It's your turn." Lu Wengxing thanked him and walked to the front. Lu Wengxing. Unlike the nervous colors of other artists, Lu Wengxing's expression is calm, and his tail is a little lazy. Then, the practice room fell silent again. After waiting for a long time, when Lu Wengxing didn't intend to continue speaking, Sheng Chao asked blankly. "Gone?" Lu Wengxing nodded. "Sheng Chao? If 1 minute is not too short, the artists can't wait to talk about all their strengths and specialties, can Lu Wengxing? His self-introduction is his name?" Wang Man was not at all surprised, her eyes showed sarcasm. In her opinion, Lu Wengxing is silly. Does this think she is cool? Or do you really think that being different will attract Gu Yunshan's attention? Oh, naive! How could Gu Yunshan be so superficial? All the artists finished introducing themselves, and the practice room fell silent. After a while, Lu Wengxing. Seeing Lu Wengxing's suspicious gaze, the corners of Gu Yunshan's mouth raised indistinctly, and his cold voice appeared particularly clear in the quiet practice room. "I look forward to working with you." Lu Wengxing. Wang Man and many artists. That's it. The artists couldn't care about keeping quiet, and the shock in their eyes appeared without reservation. Lu Wengxing, this is a turnaround. He lost his endorsement on his front foot, and the back foot was favored by King Gu on his back foot. This is called a counterattack, isn't it? Admired. When Wen Yuja walked Wengxing's endorsement, did he think that Lu Wengxing would intercept him in the same way? What nonsense! The endorsement is given by the agent, and not what Brother Wen wants. Everyone is a small 18th line. Don't you have to listen to the agent? Anyway, the endorsement of the magazine that Wen Yu shot today is indeed Lu Wengxing. Lu Wengxing signed the contract and was temporarily replaced by the agent. Now Lu Wengxing is selected for the interview in place of Wen Yu. It's nice to bring Lu Wengxing into it. Actually, Wen Yu might not be selected by himself. Right. Lu Wengxing, the person involved, is neither happy nor cool. Compared with the excitement of the artists present, his brain has fallen into a state of downtime. How could this plot deviation be more ridiculous than he thought? What is he? Unintentionally took the cannon fodder route? Etc. In this way, does it mean that no matter how the plot changes, he can't get rid of the cannon fodder ending? If there is a butterfly effect, won't the script he is holding become a scrap? Congratulations, Lu Wengxing. A smile at the corner of Director Su's mouth rose, and he only felt that the choice of letting Lu Wengxing replace him was too correct. It seemed that Gu Yunshan was very satisfied with Lu Wengxing. "Hurry up, thank you Teacher Gu." "Thank you Teacher Gu." Lu Wengxing smiled, but Gu Yunshan somehow saw a little reluctance. He raised his eyebrows and felt a little surprised. Just as he was about to study it, Lu Wengxing was hugged by Wei Ziyi, who walked in. "Congratulations! Stars!" Wei Eyes took Lu Wengxing's shoulders, and he was happy for Lu Wengxing. "You have to invite me to dinner." Lu Wengxing looked at him blankly. "I'll ask you to have a hammer." "Wei Ziyi! Why are you so fierce, hum?" After Gu Yunshan was invited to the lounge, the artists left one after another. Lu Wengxing turned to leave, but was stopped by Wang Man, etc. Seeing that Wei Ziyi stopped with Lu Wengxing, Wang Man said to him coldly, "Wei Ziyi, you go out first." Wei Eyes had a pause, then turned to look at Lu Wengxing, and seeing Lu Wengxing nodding, he slowly walked out of the practice room. After Wei Ziyi left, Wang Man's face was even more stinky. He didn't even bother to cover up, and sneered, "Yes, Lu Wengxing, no wonder I can't look down on Director Zhang, because he has a bigger goal. With such a big appetite, can you eat it? I don't mind giving you popular science, those little stars who are picking up Guyan's deep hype, since they received the lawyer's letter, now they can't even get the resources. Don't you think you are special in Guyanshan's eyes?" Wengxing Lu thought Wang Man would talk to him about recording. You must know that he was specially kept to say these silly things. Wengxing Lu would not give her an extra look. It was a waste of time. Wang Man, who was ignored, didn't know Lu Wengxing's thoughts. Only when Lu Wengxing favored Guyanshan would he feel confident, and his anger in his heart would be even worse. Don't be proud, let alone Guyanshan's attitude towards you. If you dare to make extra moves, Guyanshan's fans will be able to tear you apart. What do you want to say? When Lu Wengxing heard this, he understood that Wang Man didn't come to beat him to find a sense of existence. She wanted Lu Wengxing to retire and give up participating in variety shows. But Wang Man couldn't think that Lu Wengxing herself refused to participate in variety show recordings. Seeing Wang Man's anxious and depraved appearance, Lu Wengxing suddenly felt physically and mentally at ease. He curled his lips and smiled, his tone full of provocation. Do you think that the person chosen today should be Wen Yu? That really disappointed you. The person chosen by Guyan is me. Lu Wengxing, the contract has not been signed yet, are you too happy too early? So what, if you can change my endorsement, it doesn't mean that you can influence Guyanshan's decision. It doesn't matter who you fancy in your heart. The important thing is that the person Guyanshan fancy now is me. Lu Wengxing's tone was arrogant and his attitude was arrogant. Without giving Wang Man a chance to react, he put down these words and turned and left. Lu Wengxing can imagine Wang Man's face as black as the bottom of a pot without looking back. Lu Wengxing was originally worried about how to refuse the variety show recording. Due to Guyanshan's status as the actor, he really couldn't refuse in public with a little transparency. Guyanshan's face was saved. As for privately, it's even harder for him to contact Guyanshan. It's easy to be misunderstood as a complete set or have ulterior motives, although Lu Wengxing doesn't care what others think. But Guyanshan is the protagonist attacking, and of course he can do without contact. But just now Wang Man crackled and talked a lot, but Lu Wengxing suddenly became clear. Wang Man is a grudge. She spoke in front of several artists and said, as long as Lu Wengxing doesn't apologize to Zhang Zhenkan, then don't think of getting any resources. Lu Wengxing didn't care when he heard this sentence. Since knowing that he is a cannon fodder, he doesn't care about resources at all, but now. Rumor has it that the star hopes that Wang Man will do what he says. It's better not to give him any resources, it would be even better to be able to cut Hu with a variety show. Lu Wengxing deliberately said that just to anger Wang Man. After a period of getting along, Lu Wengxing also found out Wang Man's character. Wang Man's desire to control is extremely strong. Even if an unruly artist like Lu Wengxing has great potential, for Wang Man, a cash cow is far inferior to an obedient tool person at her mercy. Lu Wengxing couldn't help but praise his ability to adapt to the situation just now. Now with Wang Man's assist, he doesn't have to think about the reasons for rejection, Wang Man will think more comprehensively for him. Don't explain. Standing in front of Guyanshan, Sheng Chao looked at Guyanshan who was focused on the game with a headache. Who would have thought of the actor who usually impresses people with calmness, and has an unknown hobby in private cloud keeping pets. Still large and fluffy. Seeing a few tiger cubs on the screen, and Gu Yunshan hurriedly feeding the tiger cubs, Sheng Chao's eyebrows jumped. Are you listening to me? Explain what? Gu Yan replied carelessly, but didn't look away from the phone. Sheng Chao took a deep breath, calming himself down. You just picked people too casually. I came in accordance with Director Chen's request. Sheng Chao asked unexpectedly, why don't I know when Director Chen made the request? Choose someone who is impressed or close to your eyes. Gu Yunshan repeated. Sheng Chao? What about a liar? Lu Wengxing's self-introduction is only 3 words, can it leave a deep impression on you? The answer to him was a moment of silence. Sheng Chao couldn't bear it, and grabbed Gu Yunshan's phone, don't want to play if you don't say it clearly. Tisk. Gu Yan retracted his eyes with deep regret, I can't name other artists. Sheng Chao. He almost forgot, except when Gu Yunshan was filming, most of the time it was the memory of fish. Most of the artists at Mangcheng Entertainment are trainees, and their specialties are inseparable from singing and dancing. They are nothing more than the different types of dance they are good at. It is no different in Gu Yunshan's eyes. Regardless of special talents, Lu Wengxing is definitely the most dazzling one, whether it is looks, temperament, or personality. If Lu Wengxing is not the last one, but in the middle, after listening to the self-introduction of the people behind, do you still remember him? Sheng Chao asked curiously. Remember? Sheng Chao looked at Gu Yunshan in surprise, and for a moment he wondered if he really couldn't remember the person's name, or just rushed to Lu Wengxing to choose. His name is easy to remember. Sheng Chao. Well, he thinks too much. I don't have any problem with you choosing the road and hearing stars, but you should at least get a rough understanding, don't ask anything, just slop the people down like this. Gu Yunshan didn't want to listen to Sheng Chao's constant chatter, interrupting Sheng Chao. Lu Wengxing is different from them. Speaking of this, Sheng Chao agrees. Lu Wengxing is indeed different from the artists who participated in the interview. He doesn't seem to be here for the interview at all, but instead seems to come out to gather the number of people. At the interview scene, Lu Wengxing was surprisingly calm, not the kind of deliberate disguise. In contrast to the eager, ardent, yearning gazes of other artists, the words "choose me" are almost engraved on their faces. Some of the artists are fans of Gu Yunshan, and the love in their eyes is hard to conceal. But variety shows are not fan meetings. What Sheng Chao wants is an entertainer who is not afraid of the camera, behaves freely, and is not hot. Lu Wengxing did all fit, because he didn't look like participating in a variety show at all. Sheng Chao didn't say so bluntly, and said euphemistically, then do you think? I personally think that Lu Wengxing doesn't seem to be interested in participating in variety shows. Gu Yan lifted his eyelids and suddenly became serious, I thought I was wrong. Sheng Chao. So, do you always see it? Fug. Sheng Chao couldn't help but burst into swear words, it turned out that it was not his illusion. But since Gu Yunshan noticed it, why did he choose Lu Wengxing? Was it because Lu Wengxing closed his eyes, or because Lu Wengxing was unwilling to choose Lu Wengxing? In just a few minutes, Sheng Chao had fallen into various conjectures. And the more we think about it, the weirder it gets. After Gu Yan loves Yun to keep pets, he seems to have discovered Gu Yan's incredible secret. Sheng Chao's head began to replay the dog blood plot of the TV series Domineering CEO falls in love with my strength and marries the hero. The heroine is a tough little white flower, facing the power, she boldly speaks out her heart. I do not want to. Oh, woman, dare you refuse me? The male protagonist is an overbearing president, and everyone pursues him, except for the female protagonist. No, you let me go. Xiao Beiwa was angrily. I will not let go, you have successfully attracted my attention. Immediately afterwards, the faces of the hero and heroine somehow became Gu Yunshan and Lu Wengxing. You dress like this, don't you just want to seduce me? Gu Yunshan's eyes showed 3 points of arrogance and 2 points of disdain. Lu Wengxing rolled his eyes and ignored him. The interest in Gu Yunshan's eyes was deeper, and he provoked Lu Wengxing's chin to smile evilly. "Man, don't you want to do it?" Then, Sheng Chao was kicked deeply by Gu Yan. "Your smile is a little wretched." There were only the two of them in the lounge, and Gu Yan looked at him with disgust. Sheng Chao shook his head quickly, trying to throw the terrible brain supplement from his brain. He shouldn't accompany his girlfriend to watch this kind of TV series in Country X, which completely opened the door to a new world. In order to cover up the embarrassment, Sheng Chao gave a light cough. "Then I will go to make the final confirmation with Director Su of Mangcheng Entertainment." Before Gu Yunshan could answer, Sheng Chao had already fled. When Sheng Chao left, Gu Yunshan remembered that his mobile phone was still with him. It takes a lot of time to communicate and discuss. Gu Yan thought deeply about it or planned to chase it out, and asked Sheng Chao to return the phone to him first. His tiger cub must be hungry enough to scream. Why is Lu Wengxing so hypocritical? In the afternoon, she told Sister Man to terminate the contract in the conference room, and turned around to participate in the variety show interview. It's so hypocritical. Gu Yunshan stopped when he heard the word cancel contract. The conversation between several people at the corner of the corridor continued. Who would say no? Those who really want to terminate the contract will not talk about the termination. It's like the person who wants to jump off the building will jump straight down instead of standing on the top of the building to scare people. I really underestimated Lu Wengxing before. No wonder he didn't want to go to Director Jiang's bed. Wouldn't you say that Gu Yunshan chose him as an inside story? What's the inside story? You don't want to talk about him and King Gu. What are you thinking about? How could actor Gu be able to see Lu Wengxing? I mean, actor Gu has a lot of qualifications, and he knows so many people in the circle. Maybe he knows Lu Wengxing's gold master. I heard Cheng Yuan say in the afternoon that the pair of shoes on Lu Wengxing's feet is 10,000 yuan, and his clothes are not more than 1,000 yuan on weekdays. Where can I get the money to buy shoes? It must be given by the gold master. Little 10,000 shoes, this gold master is too picky, right? Ha ha ha, so Lu Wengxing is stupid, shouldn't he think that he is unique? I heard that the big guys in the circle raising little lovers are like raising fish. There are more than one and two. Fillet fish. The man suddenly stopped as he was talking, and the other artist looked suspiciously, raised his eyes to Gu Yan's deep cold eyes, and suddenly became stuttered. Gu, teacher Gu. At the end of January, the university was on vacation one after another. The roommates of Lu Wengxing went home the next day. After sending off the last roommate, Lu Wengxing planned to draw in the dormitory. When he didn't have a job before, he just received papers in the dormitory to make extra money. It has been a week since he participated in the variety show interview. During this period, Lu Wengxing didn't get any news, and he assumed that this was a precursor to a substitution. Then Lu Wengxing received a call from a stranger. Hello, are you Lu Wengxing? Lu Wengxing was not surprised that the other party was able to call out his name, and responded with a yes. Hello, Mr. Lu. This is Gu Yunshan's agent, Sheng Chao. I met in your company 2 weeks ago. Lu Wengxing did not answer, waiting for Sheng Chao to continue. Does Mr. Lu have plans to terminate the contract recently? Lu Wengxing was silent for a second. Is there anything wrong with you calling? Sheng Chao didn't expect Lu Wengxing to be so defensive, so he paused. Mr. Lu, don't get me wrong, I have no other meaning, just want to ask if you need help. No, thank you. Lu Wengxing indifferently refused. Mr. Lu, don't rush to refuse, we just want to discuss a mutually beneficial cooperation with Mr. Lu. The we in Sheng Chao's mouth refers to Sheng Chao himself and Gu Yunshan. Cooperation means that two parties help each other to achieve a common goal. But Lu Wengxing didn't think he could provide any help to movie Emperor Gu or Sheng Chao. This cooperation was a bit inexplicable. Wang Man is Mr. Lu's agent, right? I took her call the other day. Sheng Chao didn't need to say that Lu Wengxing also knew that Wang Man must have been looking for him for a replacement. Wang Man told me that Mr. Lu didn't want to participate in this variety show. She felt sorry and would provide suitable personnel to participate. Is this your own wish? Lu Wengxing replied simply, yes. Other entertainment companies are the resources given by the agents, and the artists will receive the resources. For the first time, I know that there are companies in the entertainment industry that respect the wishes of the artists. To my surprise, I called Director Su and she gave my reply as you are very willing and honored to cooperate with King Gu. Lu Wengxing. Wengxing Lu, who was exposed by Sheng Chao's lie, did not feel embarrassed either. Wang Man didn't lie. I don't want to participate for personal reasons. But it's indeed an honor to be able to cooperate with Teacher Gu. I believe that every artist of Mang Orange Entertainment is looking forward to. Do you also include you? A cold and deep voice was suddenly inserted into the microphone, and Lu Wengxing almost threw the phone out. It's Gu Yunshan. Is the current actor so free? Can you eavesdrop on someone talking on the phone? Lu Wengxing did not pass on his gaffe. After a few seconds, he replied quite sincerely. Of course. Little liar. Lu Wengxing. Sheng Chao's mother-in-law said it for a long time and haven't talked about the main point. Lu Wengxing. You suddenly collapsed, do you know? Cough. I'll just say it briefly. Gu Yan coughed deeply and took Sheng Chao's mobile phone as his own. His tone was serious. Your agent will call you later and ask you to go to the company to sign the contract. Lu Wengxing was about to say I won't sign, but Gu Yunshan didn't interrupt Gu Yunshan when he heard him continue. I asked Sheng Chao to talk to your company's counterpart. I only like you for the variety show guests, and I don't want to replace them. Lu Wengxing? I'm talking about this, you should know how to do it. Lu Wengxing was stunned for a moment, and he suddenly started. Is Gu Yunshan really helping him? Lu Wengxing was not surprised. Thinking about Gu Yunshan's words, it suddenly became clear. As long as Gu Yan does not let go, Mang Orange Entertainment will try to get Lu Wengxing to sign, and at this time, Lu Wengxing is the dominant player. Compared with that recording, Gu Yunshan's refusal to change talents is his biggest bargaining chip. He can use this to talk to Wang Man about cancelling the contract. Lu Wengxing did not thank him, but calmly told the truth. I know it's easy for Teacher Gu to help me, but I probably don't have much to help Teacher Gu. You have. Gu Yunshan said surely, but didn't plan to talk to Lu Wengxing in detail. Not long after the call was cut off, Lu Wengxing received a call from Wang Man. There is no prologue, and go straight to the topic. Come to the company in the afternoon to talk about the variety show contract. Lu Wengxing didn't think too much, so he could just make it clear in the afternoon. As for Gu Yunshan's cooperation, Lu Wengxing couldn't guess it for the time being and didn't bother to guess. Estimated the time that will be spent in the afternoon, there is a high probability that there is no time to draw the manuscript, and Lu Wengxing can only hurry up and paint the manuscript first. 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Lu Wengxing walked into Wang Man's office. Lu Wengxing couldn't help sneezing because of the overly strong floral fragrance in the office. Seeing him coming in, Wang Man raised his chin. Sit down. Wang Man pushed the contract in his hand to Lu Wengxing. Look at the contract and sign it if there is no problem. Lu Wengxing didn't even look at it, putting on an arrogant attitude. No, I want to terminate the contract. Wang Man tapped the fingertips of the table with a slight force. Before today, Wang Man hadn't taken Lu Wengxing's resignation seriously. Her eyes flickered, carefully examining Lu Wengxing. After a long time, her bright red lips moved. Really find the gold master, as Cheng Yuan said. You are unwell or unable to schedule, these two are your most used excuses. Lu Wengxing's tone was full of sarcasm. Wang Man cursed in his heart that he didn't know that Sheng Chao would contact Lu Wengxing, only when Lu Wengxing took away resources before taunting her. At the same time, Wang Man felt strange again. Because every time she took the resources of walking Wengxing, Lu Wengxing would not show any emotions, and she seemed to care nothing. It's like a resource that was only taken to fulfill the obligations of the contract, but it can be said that Lu Wengxing is not so reluctant. Wang Man had seen the state of Lu Wengxing when he was shooting, and he looked like a gleaming star in earnest. If you really don't care about resources, Lu Wengxing doesn't have to take every shot so seriously. Wang Man couldn't figure it out, and for the first time felt that Lu Wengxing was more difficult than she thought. But even if it is difficult, as long as Lu Wengxing's contract has not expired, Wang Man can still influence him. Wen Xing, you are smart. You shouldn't give up a good future just because of a small matter. You have to know that when you were on this variety show, you successfully made it to the big screen. Don't you like acting? As long as you seize the opportunity and wait for the variety show to be released, naturally someone will come to you with the script. I admit that I am partial to Wen Yu. People are selfish. He can bring me more benefits than you. But when you reach a certain height, no one can replace it, and there will be no more resources being cut off. Lu Wengxing's eyes fell on Wang Man, and a trace of mockery flashed in his eyes. Your time is precious, I can't afford to delay. Lu Wengxing was too lazy to talk to Wang Man, and directly took out the contract cancellation letter and pushed it in front of Wang Man, showing his attitude. The atmosphere in the office suddenly cooled down, and Wang Man had no patience, and threw the cancellation letter aside. But can you afford the liquidated damages? Buzzing. Wang Man's cell phone rang, interrupting the tense atmosphere between the two. Hey, Mr. Su. Lu Wengxing could not hear what was said on the phone, but Wang Man's face gradually became serious. A few minutes later, Wang Man put down the phone, looking very angry. Lu Wengxing, I really underestimated you. Lu Wengxing? Wang Man sneered, the above agrees to terminate the contract without you having to pay liquidated damages. Lu Wengxing suppressed the surprise in his eyes, with a calm expression on his face. I don't know how you hooked up with actor Gu, and you can even let him call to confirm the contract. Knock knock. The office door was knocked. Come in. Sister Man, this is Lu Wengxing's contract termination. The girl pushed both the termination contract and the contract for recording variety show to Lu Wengxing. Mr. Su said that after signing the variety show contract, the termination contract can be signed. Lu Wengxing suddenly understood that the cooperation that Gu Yunshan said originally meant participating in variety show recording. But why did Gu Yunshan help him? Can't you just want to participate in variety shows with him? This is ridiculous. Lu Wengxing didn't want to understand, but without Gu Yunshan's help, he wouldn't want to terminate the contract so quickly. Staring at the two contracts on the table, Lu Wengxing hesitated for a few seconds. But signing the contract means that he will be on variety shows with Gu Yunshan. In a few seconds, Lu Wengxing thought a lot, and after weighing the pros and cons, he chose to sign. In any case, it is important to get rid of Mang Orange Entertainment first, and he certainly can't pay the more than 10 million penalty. Only relying on that recording can only threaten Wang Man at best, not as a bargaining chip to terminate the contract. Wengxing Lu thought for a while, and felt that he could use the remuneration for recording variety shows to thank Gu Yunshan. Although the other party may not need it, this is the way that Lu Wengxing can think of a thank you fee for the time being. Walking out of Wang Man's office, Lu Wengxing felt a little cheerful, but also ignored the sadness in his heart. He did not rush to leave the company and went to the dance studio downstairs. Lu Wengxing pushed open the door of the dance studio, and several hairy heads got together, bowing their heads not knowing what they were looking at. Cough. Lu Wengxing coughed deliberately, and Wei eyes reflexively hid the phone behind him, and he was relieved when he looked up and saw Lu Wengxing. Sing, you scared me to death. Wei Eyes patted his chest exaggeratedly. What are you looking at if you don't practice dancing? Brother Wen Yu's interview. Wei Ziyi picked up the phone again, his furry head getting closer. The blue hair next to Wei Eyes invited Lu Wengxing, brother, do you want to see it? Wengxing Lu leaned over and took a look. The location shown on the screen was very familiar, company lounge. Yes, it's upstairs. Wei Ziyi took the time to answer. Lu Wengxing took a look, and Wen Yu was wearing a white suit with a smile on her face. Someone suddenly sighed, I have been in the company for so long, and I haven't spoken to Wen Yu yet. I do not have either. I have. Wei Ziyi was a little proud, brother Wen Yu is gentler, I met him in the bathroom before, and he handed over the paper, and asked me if I was enough. Contrary to what Wei Ziyi thought, the focus of the others did not fall on Wen Yu, but on him. You didn't bring paper with you to the toilet. Wei Ziyi. Lu Wengxing couldn't help but laughed, and rubbed his grey hair, envy Wen Yu for an interview. Wei Ziyi flushed, and nodded slightly. He only heard Lu Wengxing pouring down a basin of cold water, that won't work, do you want the whole network to know that you don't bring paper in the toilet? Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha, Azza laughed so hard at me. Wei Ziyi's eyes widened, and for quite a while, he didn't know how to refute, and looked at his teammates who were rolling on the floor with laughter. I don't say everything. Wei Ziyi retorted without confidence. Seeing that everyone didn't believe it, he was a little embarrassed and hooked Lu Wengxing's neck. How did you come to the company today? Come and terminate the contract. What? 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 The four furry heads suddenly raised, staring at Lu Wengxing in disbelief. It was Wei Ziyi who reacted first. You want to terminate the contract? But the penalty. The contract has been signed, hush. Wei Ziyi and the others immediately made a zipper action, and couldn't help but curious, and looked straight at Lu Wengxing. Then, will you not come to the company anymore? Wei Ziyi was a little sad, his expression was not as agile as he was just now, and his eyes showed a little loss. Looking at his fleshy cheeks, Lu Wengxing squeezed his hands, you guys practice dancing and make your debut early. I will go to your concert. Really? Lu Wengxing nodded, Wei Ziyi was still in a deep mood, and several teammates clapped their shoulders and rubbed their heads, comforting him in a low voice. This is a good thing for Wen Xing, and his agent is not good to him at all. Yes, we should bless him. I know, I just feel a little bit reluctant. Although Lu Wengxing didn't make his debut in a group, he had taken courses in dance and vocal music before, and he had also been in the same class with Wei Ziyi and the others. Because Lu Wengxing did not have the will to form a group, Wang Man deliberately let him develop in the direction of model. Lu Wengxing looks amazing. Although he is not well known, there are also small brands who will look for Lu Wengxing to shoot cover ads. Stars, do you want to see our new dance? Wei Ziyi's eyes were twinkling. Lu Wengxing suspected that if he didn't agree, Wei Ziyi would cry to him. Seeing Lu Wengxing nodding, Wei Ziyi excitedly pulled up several teammates sitting on the ground. Hurry up, continue dancing. The teammate looked resentful, didn't you say you can rest for half an hour? It's less than 20 minutes. Wei Ziyi likes to be lazy on weekdays, but now he suddenly wants to show it to Lu Wengxing. The music is played again and the sound is turned up. Several of Wei Ziyi had already set their poses, and they entered with gentle music, and several of them slid to the right in accordance with the rhythm. Lu Wengxing's eyes followed Wei Ziyi closely, and couldn't help but marvel. A few months ago, Wei Ziyi was ridiculed by teacher MK and twisted like a zombie. Somehow, looking at Wei Ziyi's serious look, Lu Wengxing couldn't help but learn to move. This dance is not difficult. The most important thing on the debut night is not the difficult dance moves, but the premise of stability and error-free. Lu Wengxing has a dance foundation, and many dance moves are similar. Just watch it once and get a rough idea of the dance. When the second time of music began, Lu Wengxing had already taken off his jacket and joined the dance of 4 people. The last beat fell, and the 5 people stopped at the same time. The star's eyes kill me. Wei Ziyi couldn't help himself, wishing to scream out, but a little regretful. If I knew you earlier, I would definitely pull you into our regiment. Wen Xing learned too fast, so we skipped it. This dance is not difficult. Lu Wengxing said modestly, a lot of moves were skipped before, but the order is different. This dance is really not difficult, it's not that Wei Ziyi dance is not good. The teammates said something disgusting, but they still accommodated Wei Ziyi in their hearts. I have studied very hard, you ask Xing if I have made any progress. Yes. Lu Wengxing praised without hesitation, much better than before, very handsome. Look, you see. The stars praise me for being handsome. Without boasting, Wei Ziyi's tail was almost up to the sky, and he triumphantly leaned on Lu Wengxing's shoulder. When I become famous, there will be 180 concerts a year, and the stars will come every time. Give you a VIP perspective and enjoy my handsome dance. Wake up, stop dreaming in broad daylight. The teammate broke Wei Ziyi's daydream ruthlessly, we haven't had a game now. Wei Ziyi likes Cao He, and he always talks outside when he talks about Xingtu, I don't care, we will definitely be the most popular boy group in the future. In the evening, Lu Wengxing received the final payment immediately after sending the draft to the client. After I was busy, I finally remembered to send a text message to Sheng Chao. Thank you, and help me thank you Teacher Gu. After waiting for a while before replying, Lu Wengxing estimated that it would be impossible to go to bed so early, so he should be busy. He was lying on the bed and swiping his mobile phone, and the WeChat prompt sounded one after another. Wei Lai Dingliu stars. Wei Lai Dingliu look at Weibo. Wei Lai Dingliu ah. Me, and you. Wei Lai Dingliu I'm so excited. OMG. Is this real? Lu Wengxing watched for a long time and didn't understand what he wanted to express. With a single finger, he opened Weibo. Not knowing what Wei Ziyi asked him to watch, Lu Wengxing glanced at the Weibo private message, except for the push, there was no news of Wei Ziyi. What do you show him? Wei Lai Dingliu stars, we are on the hot search don't daydream at night. Then Wei Ziyi sent 2 screenshots. Lu Wengxing Dian opened the first one, a screenshot of a hot search on Weibo, and the last hot search was circled. Number Lu Wengxing's heart jumped and clicked on the second screenshot. Is a screenshot of a video. In the familiar dance room, between the 4 grey heads is Lu Wengxing's light chestnut head. Lu Wengxing really searched. Unexpectedly, what Wei Ziyi said casually would come true. Lu Wengxing switched the screen to the Weibo interface, clicked on hot search, and scrolled to the bottom one. Number the first Weibo to be pinned on the first day of the internship. I went to work with the editor-in-chief of Big Beauty, and there was a surprise / rubbing my saliva attach a video. The video of the dance is less than 30 seconds, and it was taken at the end of the dance, and then the footage of Wei Ziyi coming over to hug Wengxing. I'm dead. The side face is so handsome, the video of asking for a straight face in a blood book. Blogger, I have a friend, too awesome. Tears came out. You are wrong upstairs. What kind of beauty is this? Is there really no filter? The shortest baby in the middle, Mama hugs you. I like my little brother with chestnut hair, he looks so handsome. Same upstairs, Li Fa's little brother A exploded. Subsequently, the blogger cut out the videos of several people separately and made animated pictures, which were reposted many times by netizens, and various groundhogs screamed in the comment area. What kind of beauty is this? I really want to drill the screen. You are all looking at your face, is it the only one who noticed the long legs full of the screen? Are these trainees? I feel I haven't debuted yet. It should be that I haven't made a debut yet, I'm sure that Deo will be popular if I look so good. Hurry up and make your debut, Mama will hold you guys. Little brother Li Fa is out of place among a group of grey fur, then I will take it away. Is the blogger an intern reporter? Where to go out for work? Please ask my little brother on Weibo. Put a pair of eyes here and find the sisters on Weibo to private me. Lu Wengxing's mood is quite complicated. He was ready to leave the circle but suddenly became a little fired because of a video. Just cut to the WeChat interface, Lu Wengxing has been pulled into a small group. Group name, Explosive Overnight Lu Wengxing. It doesn't have to be this way. Wei Lai Dingliu ah. What kind of koi physique I am, are we on fire? A dog we eyes, have you opened your mouth naked? Another dog great. Azaa will say you just say more. Dog owner Azaa is possessed by a koi carp, right? We need a blessing to get rich here, thank you. At Lu Wengxing presses the keyboard with one hand. Sorry, I take back the words of daydreaming Wei Lai Dingliu humph, forgive you. Wait, 180 concerts a year, I'm here. Lu Wengxing could see Wei Ziyi's excited expression across the screen, shook his head a little funny, and typed a line to send. Are you not curious who made the video? Wei Lai Dingliu, you know? Lu Wengxing posted a screenshot of the blogger's Weibo, and surrounded a paragraph of text with a red oval frame. On the first day of the internship, I went out to work with the editor-in-chief of Big Beauty, and there was a surprise / rubbing my saliva make key points. Wei Lai Dingliu. A dog wait, it won't be, the editor-in-chief reporters who came to interview you this afternoon, right? Dog owner, I didn't expect that I, Anon Keefe, would have this kind of luck in picking up leaks. Another dog. Is it too late for me to buy a lottery ticket now? However, they were not happy for too long, and the hot search was soon suppressed and replaced by a milk advertisement. Wei Lai Dingliu, no, I thought I could stay for at least an hour. A dog need, I've been there anyway. Dog owner, this hot search is too fast, my is not hot yet. Another dog, how do I feel that this hot search is not suppressed, it seems to have been removed, it's too inexplicable if it doesn't. Brother, it costs money to withdraw hot searches. We hang on our tails, and it's normal to be suppressed. Artists in the entertainment circle speculate on hot searches, and artists will withdraw hot searches when they break illicit materials. These are common routines. Ru Wengxing hasn't even been on a big screen, and most of the ad shots taken are printed, magazines or outdoor advertising. If no one knows him, and Wei Ziyi and the four have not yet made their debut, who would withdraw more money from their hot searches? Several people insisted on their own words. Looking at the WeChat group that was chatting enthusiastically, Lu Wengxing couldn't help his sleepiness, so he said good night and went to bed. A few days later, the official blog of Weekend Without Limits released the latest developments. The Weekend Without Limits that everyone is looking forward to is officially announced. // the members of the partner group will keep secret for the time being. Don't worry, it's definitely the value of the face /shh. Attached are the single photos of Gu Yunshan, Li Xiangming and Song Jiajia. Knowing that expectations are still kept secret? The program team is no longer a human being. Lick my brother's beautiful face, he is so handsome. Brother Shen has disappeared for 3 months, but it can be regarded as showing me new developments. Although it was not posted by Brother Shen, sister Jiajia is still as beautiful and greasy as always. The clockwork Weibo is in the shape of loving you sisters who like Ming Ming hold together here. This variety show includes Gu Yunshan, who has been the actor for 3 consecutive times, Li Xiangming, who is known as the Little Prince of Music, and Song Jiajia, the most popular national goddess in film and television dramas, and any of them are popular resident contestants. It was top searched within half a day. Netizens are still discussing what kind of partners the 3 big coffees will choose, and it didn't take long for the voting wine to blow. It is guessed that the wind direction of Li Xiangming and Song Jiajia was normal, but Gu Yunshan's painting style changed suddenly. Number fans come to guess what kind of teammate Shen will choose. Forward the comments and draw 10 European emperors to give 3 VL lipsticks. and choose the color number. Brother Shen is the Weibo pole of the pendant der big sister me in little lady Wen Wan 188 men Shen brother is one enemy 10, no teammates needed. Netizens in the comment area made a blind choice, and some people issued suggestions for new options. Cute little lowly application to join the group chat. Furry means that I am true love. A real man is going to be a bachelor. Actually, Brother Shen and I are locked up. Stop talking upstairs, I'm already jealous. Brother Shen is busy coaxing me /shy. The first issue of Weekend Without Limits was filmed in Country E. After Lu Wengxing got off the plane, there was a special car for the program group. The airport was about 40 minutes away from the filming location. At the end, it stopped at the entrance of a private house with good scenery and environment, a bit like the large grassland outside the manor. Lu Wengxing was not the first to arrive. When he entered the house, he saw Song Jiejie, the goddess of the nation, sitting on the sofa. There are also two artists who don't know each other, who should be members of the same partner group as Lu Wengxing. Hello. Song Jiejie was the first to notice Lu Wengxing coming in, with delicate makeup painted on her face. She was indeed the goddess of the nation, with no dead ends at 360 degrees. Hello, Sister Jiejie, I'm Lu Wengxing, Teacher Gu's partner. Song Jiejie covered her mouth in surprise. Why didn't the program team tell me that there is still a guest with such a high profile? Can I apply for an exchange partner? Song Jiejie is quite good at joking. Lu Wengxing bends the corner of his eyes. Sister Jiejie is responsible for the appearance. Lu Wengxing looked at the two partners of a man and a woman. The girl is Song Jiejie's partner. Lu Wengxing has never seen her, but blindly guessed she was a member of the women's team. Hello, Wen Xing, I am Wen Miao, a member of Nu 4. Lu Wengxing politely stretched out his hand. Wen Miao stretched out his hand and shook it back. Hello Wengxing, this is Zhou Zitong, Teacher Li's partner. None of them were shy, and the atmosphere gradually became more active as they came and went. They were chatting happily, and Li Xiangming walked in with a salute. After greeting several people, Li Xiangming pushed his suitcase to go upstairs, but Song Jiejie stopped him. I haven't divided the room yet, put the suitcase underneath first. Song Jiejie blinked at Li Xiangming, and the other party instantly received Song Jiejie's suggestion and correctly understood Song Jiejie's meaning. He pushed the suitcase aside and joked. Waiting for rock paper scissors to divide the room. The director said that the first mission will be announced when everyone arrives. As soon as the voice fell, Gu Yanchen opened the door and walked in. The atmosphere suddenly became high. Several people greeted Gu Yanchen one after another. Lu Wengxing nodded deeply at Gu Yan, and was about to withdraw his gaze, and walked behind the unclosed door. Into a person. Hello everyone, this is Wen Yu. After seeing Wen Yu, Lu Wengxing's eyes flashed with surprise, and the question that bothered him was answered at this moment. No wonder Mang Orange Entertainment agreed to terminate the contract, because it turned out that Wen Yu was squeezed in. Lu Wengxing was sure that this matter had something to do with Gu Yan, and suddenly felt that his remuneration was far from enough. But Wen Yu's appearance also let Lu Wengxing breathe a sigh of relief. Fortunately, some plot deviations will not affect the important plot. Wen Yu still participated in this variety show. Lu Wengxing boldly guessed that although the plot is slightly different from the development in his dream, the main line will not change. Even if the butterfly effect causes a slight deviation, it will not hinder the development of the offensive contact and emotional line. Therefore, even if Wen Yu missed the interview, he still joined the variety show recording in other ways. Wen Yu greeted everyone with a smile, and finally walked to Lu Wengxing. Long time no see, star. Lu Wengxing was startled with goosebumps by his nickname. Although they were both worn by Wang Man, the number of times they can be seen is only a handful. Wen Yu was busy filming to pick up endorsements, and Lu Wengxing was busy filming magazine posters and so on. Occasionally meeting is just nodding to say hello, which is far from enough to call out the other party's nickname. You two know each other? Yes. Wen Yu smiled slightly, did not tell the truth that the two were once the same agent. We are friends, right? The stars. Wen Yu said so. Of course, Lu Wengxing could not dismantle and deny it, and a small nod was counted as a response. Wen Yu and brother Shen came together. Speaking of this, Wen Yu's mouth raised slightly. I didn't expect it to be so coincidental that he would be on the same plane as brother Shen. Song Jiajia asked, how many flying guests are there? 1. The cameraman answered. When everyone arrived, the director started to announce the rules. Each period will have one flying guest. The winning team in the first round will be helped by the flying guest. That is to say, one of the 3 teams will have 3 people. One more person will be more likely to win? Does that mean? Then Wen Yu has become the object of everyone's competition. The director laughed without answering, and Li Xiangming asked again. What's the first round? The director sits on the little horse, rolls up the book in his hand, and puts it on his mouth as a transmission tube. I will announce this later. There is now a round of inspections. Lu Wengxing received a message from Sheng Chao before he was ready to bow that the director team would check the suitcase and confiscate snacks or all cheating supplies. Of course, the more important thing is for the popularity, the audience will definitely be curious about what is in the luggage of the artists. On the surface it is a surprise inspection, but in order to prevent embarrassing incidents, the director team has reminded them to put away items that are too personal or that they do not want to be seen. Just now Song Jiajia prevented Li Xiangming from carrying his luggage because of this link. But for the effect of the show, they still showed a look of surprise. You stand in a row and start from left to right. The first person to be checked was Li Xiangming. The clothes and shoes were all packed in white storage bags. No one would go through the clothes, but the things on the top were very conspicuous. A tender green tennis ball. What's this? Song Jiajia was surprised with a Sichuan accent. Do you take a tennis ball with you as a basketball racket? Several people were amused by Song Jiajia's uprightness. Li Xiangming didn't understand where their laughter was. He gave a serious explanation. I'm used to holding something in my hand when I'm writing a song. Song Jiajia expressed his understanding. I understand, talented people always have a weird habit. But why is it tennis? Li Xiangming didn't hear Song Jiajia's ridicule, and said very seriously and rigorously. The basketball is so big that I can't hold it with one hand. Several people. Then there is Lu Wengxing. Besides clothes and daily necessities, there is also a palm-sized alarm clock. Without waiting for them to ask, Lu Wengxing explained directly, my mother bought it for me when I was in high school. Have you been using it until now? Lu Wengxing shook his head, it's very durable, just change the battery. I'm more accustomed to using the alarm clock than the phone alarm. Several people were curious about Lu Wengxing's little alarm clock, and looked at his little red rooster, the little one, which is also cute as an ornament. Is it an ordinary alarm, or does it croak like a rooster? Can crow. Hearing what Lu Wengxing said, a few people were more curious. Nowadays, few people buy an alarm clock, and it seems very interesting. I want to hear how it sounds. I want, too. Lu Wengxing set an alarm clock 1 minute later, and then everyone quietly watched Lu Wengxing put the alarm clock on the ground. Just put it on the table, we'll just listen to it. It will break. Everyone? Several pairs of eyes fell on the little rooster, and with the gaze that everyone expected, the rooster began to crow. Then, the rooster, who raised his neck and crowed, suddenly stepped on his short legs and ran. Everyone? It will run. Li Xiangming's eyes widened in surprise. In the horror of everyone's eyes, the little ran short legs and disappeared. The director smiled with creases and urged the staff to chase Lu Wengxing's small alarm clock back. Facing everyone's sight, Lu Wengxing explained frankly. I am a person who has trouble getting up. I put the alarm clock on the floor before going to bed, and it runs around the room as soon as it rings. Everyone! When you go to bed at night, remember to close the door tightly and don't let Wenxing's little sneak in. Lu Wengxing. Among the next few people, there are things such as photo albums or pillows, which are all normal items. The curiosity passed, and finally it was Gu Yunshan's turn. Everyone's eyes lighted up, and they all fell on Gu Yunshan's suitcase. They are too curious about what Gu Yunshan will bring, but at the same time they feel that with Gu Yunshan's deep and cold image outside, there should be nothing strange and weird except for the necessities. Sure enough, the first suitcase was opened, and it was all clothes. Regrettably, everyone turned their eyes to the second suitcase. The second suitcase contains daily necessities. Sure enough, there was nothing strange and interesting. Song Jiajia sighed and was about to get up, and suddenly found a roll of paper similar to a poster on the side. Brother Shen, what is this? Song Jiajia was full of curiosity, and several people leaned forward to look. Li Xiangming stretched out his hand to take out the rolled-up poster and unfolded it with a few people. Lu Wengxing didn't hesitate at all, and quickly joined the eating melon group. Then, the unfolded poster was exposed to the vision of a few people, and the person on the poster was the one who was eating the melon ball. Lu Wengxing. Lu Wengxing. Gu Yunshan. Several others. They saw their astonished self in each other's eyes, and the atmosphere suddenly solidified, and no one recovered from the shocking impact. Lu Wengxing looked at himself on the poster with a complicated expression. He seemed to have seen a big round melon. Li Xiangming held the hot poster and asked dumbly, "Brother, why are you still hiding Wenxing's poster?" Gu Yunshan. Lu Wengxing. Gu Yan stared at the poster deeply, already thinking about how to teach Gu Yanning when he went back. No wonder he couldn't drive away last night, because he was looking for a chance to stuff his suitcase with posters. On the day Gu Yunshan went to Mangcheng Entertainment, he verbally confessed that Sheng Chao had asked him for a signed photo, but Gu Yunshan forgot after the interview. On weekdays, what he said to Sheng Chao would be like a walking memo, remember clearly. But that day, Sheng Chao was absent-minded for some reason, and then both of them forgot about it. After knowing that Gu Yunshan hadn't asked for an autograph photo, Gu Yanning called and made trouble several times. Gu Yan couldn't bear to call Gu Yanning's head teacher directly and asked him to confiscate Gu Yanning's mobile phone. At the end of the final exam on Friday, Gu Yanning didn't look back at her home. She squatted at the door of Gu Yunshan's house and waited after school. He also said that starting next week, the school should preview the next semester's class in advance, so he can spend 2 days on the weekend. Gu Yan was so annoyed by him that he went with him. Result: Gu Yanning sneaked into his room and forcibly prepared such a big surprise for him. Gu Yan sullenly, without emotional explanation. "I have a friend who is a fan of Lu Wengxing and asked me to bring him an autographed photo. It turned out to be like this." Li Xiangming didn't have the slightest doubt, and immediately believed. The others also showed an expression of "that's how it is." Song Jiajia didn't react on the face, always feeling that Gu Yunshan was a friend out of nothing, and couldn't stop gazing at Gu Yunshan. Gu Yunshan's eyes were open and natural, and there was no flaw in it. "Trouble Wenzingda will help me sign." "Okay." Lu Wengxing breathed a sigh of relief. He didn't believe it. Lu Wengxing felt weird if Gu Yunshan really liked him. The director took the toy trumpet and blew it, attracting everyone's attention. "We are a variety show with free choice. During the recording of this issue, you can make any comments." The director started to mention the room allocation after he emphasized. "There are a total of 4 rooms upstairs, you can discuss it and see how to divide it." It's not the first time Song Jiajia has participated in a variety show. The director team often digs holes for guests to jump. She is not sure about it again, let us distribute it freely. Yes. The director smiled peacefully, I just said that we are a variety show with free choice, and we also give you the right to comment. Song Jiajia couldn't ask anything else, so she could only give up temporarily. She hooked Wen Miao's shoulder. I can live with Miao Miao. Li Xiangming did not immediately make a choice, he first analyzed the situation. There are 7 of us, and one of them can live by himself. Then Teacher Li, do you mind living with me? Zhou Zitong sent an invitation to live in with Li Xiangming, and Li Xiangming responded with an OK gesture. The rest are Lu Wengxing, Gu Yunshan, and Wen Yu. Lu Wengxing doesn't want to have too much intersection with the protagonist outside the camera. If he can, he would definitely want to live by himself, but as a junior, Gu Yunshan, who is a senior, should be given priority. Gu Yunshan has not yet sparked with Wen Yu. The current Wen Yu is just a guest recording a variety show for him. Lu Wengxing speculates that he will choose to live in a single room. Thinking like this, Lu Wengxing glanced at Wen Yu subconsciously, just as Wen Yu turned his gaze around. The two people's ideas coincide. Stars, do we live in the same room? Wen Yu's question seemed to be asking Lu Wengxing's opinion, but in fact he was thinking deeply about Gu Yan. Even the actor is not good to say directly in front of the camera that he wants to live alone. Lu Wengxing seems to understand the reasons why many artists like Wen Yu in the company. He is gentle, generous, and not low in EQ, and he knows how to consider issues from the standpoint of others. Such people are very popular everywhere. Regardless of Wen Yu's own character, or for the purpose of selling people, Lu Wengxing can't deny that Wen Yu is sleek. If it weren't for knowing the plot in advance, Lu Wengxing could not see that Wen Yu was a spoiled young master. He didn't like Wen Yu, nor did he dislike him. But if the protagonist has to choose one to attack or accept, Lu Wengxing will definitely choose the protagonist. After all, the identity of the protagonist's actor is placed there, and he and Wen Yu will be suspected of getting hot. This is why Wen Yu chose Lu Wengxing, because he knew that Lu Wengxing thought so too. Just as Lu Wengxing was about to nod his head to agree, the director suddenly said, "There are only 3 of you, or rock paper, scissors, paper." The director didn't think it was too much to see the excitement. The winner lives in a single room. The 3 looked at the director in a little surprise. It's rock paper scissors. Probably because Gu Yunshan refused, the director team added. It's fair. Gu Yunshan did not object, but he was actually reluctant to do so. He doesn't have the habit of living with others. The bedroom is a private space. Even if 2 people sleep in separate beds, living in the same room means that there is no private space. No. It was not Gu Yunshan who was speaking, but Wen Yu, who had bright eyes. The director just said that if you have comments, you can raise them. Then I think, since Xing and Teacher Gu, both agree with the assignment just now, then there is no need to divide the winners and losers to choose the house. Lu Wengxing was surprised by Wen Yu's words, and then turned to look at the director. Upon receiving the glances from the 3 of them, the director smiled triumphantly. Yes, I said this just now, but I haven't finished it yet. My next sentence is you may suggest, we won't change it anyway. Wen Yu. Lu Wengxing. Gu Yunshan. Song Jiajia pulled Wen Miao, and said with a smile on her face, I knew how the director team could have let us go in such a simple way. The 3 of Lu Wengxing formed a small circle, and the others stared at them with slashing eyes. Rock paper scissors. The last word fell, all 3 of them made different gestures, and then the second round began. Rock paper scissors. Lu Wengxing produced the scissors, Gu Yunshan happened to be the same as him, and then Wen Yu. What he got out was stones. As the winner, Wen Yu lived alone. Lu Wengxing had to live in the same room with Gu Yan, but he couldn't change it. Lu Wengxing only wanted 2 single beds in the room. The director succeeded in getting things done, and then blew his trumpet to express his joy. Then let Teacher Gu and Wen Xing share the same room. It happens that today they are both partners in the same room. Take advantage of the communication tonight and promote the relationship. Tomorrow is the time to test the tacit understanding. Now for the first mission, the team that wins the first place can have the assistance of a flying guest. The flying guest this time is Wen Yu. The director team stopped when they talked about key points. Zhou Zitong guessed in a low voice, from the perspective of the director team's inconspicuous style, shouldn't we want us to people? Then should I it now or wait? Can you just run? Wen Yu silently moved away from Zhou Zitong, as if he was really worried that Zhou Zitong would put him on his shoulders. The other people were amused by them, and the variety show atmosphere was full. To fight for a game to determine the outcome, you can go to dinner, and then go back to your room to rest early. The rest of the task is tomorrow. Is this just such a task today? Song Jiajia's tone was full of distrust. Just this one task, it's very simple. Come to music. Several people stared at each other with big eyes and small eyes. Why are you still playing music? Please turn on the TV. Just as the director finished speaking, several people couldn't wait to interject. Watching a movie. Isn't it about watching a movie and guessing the title? I can. Song Jiajia pushed Li Xiangming away from him and raised his hand actively. Song Jiajia, a woman who has read countless films, there is no film that I can't recognize. Lu Wengxing turned on the TV, and two people standing on the stage were greeted. With gentle music insertion, the two of them shook their bodies in accordance with the rhythm of the music, and the music stuck ended. Suddenly the style of music changed and it became classical music, and the sound of the piano gradually accelerated and became faster and faster. This is an R style, light-hearted igniting music, accompanied by a dance house dance. Why are you watching this? Didn't you guess the name of the movie? Cut the movie quickly. Zhou Zitong urged Lu Wengxing to change the channel. The screen switched to a ghost movie. Less than 30 seconds after it played, Song Jiajia shouted, I know, a Chinese ghost story. After answering, Song Jiajia looked at the director group triumphantly, are you just going to cut the movie and guess the name of the movie? The director group didn't answer, but gave her a meaningful look and gave her a compliment. Jiajia guesses very quickly. Song Jiajia proudly took the remote control of Lu Wengxing's mobile phone and cut the channel randomly. I know. Reaper is here. In the next 10 minutes, everyone rushed to answer. Inception. Titanic. This killer is not too cold. The atmosphere is hot, and the answers are fierce. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the TV screen, wishing to get into the screen to predict the next movie. Okay, time is up. The director group called to a halt. Song Jiajia walked to Wen Yu and said, I guess the 14 movies are right. You belong to our group now. As soon as Song Jiajia finished speaking, the director smiled slyly, the game begins. Song Jiajia. Several others. Isn't it over? Song Jiajia looked dumbfounded. When the news came out, he grabbed the remote control of Song Jiajia's mobile phone and switched to the original house dance video. Wen Xing, what are you doing? Several people looked at Lu Wengxing puzzledly, but he didn't answer. He watched their movements seriously and made a few gestures. Everyone immediately noticed something was wrong. For the house dance you watched just now, repeat the action again. The higher the imitation, the more teams remember to move. Tomorrow we'll get Wen Yu's help. As soon as the director said this, everyone except Lu Wengxing was struck by thunder and froze on the spot, staring at the director with difficulty. Not guessing the name of the movie, why let us guess for a long time? We were rushing to fight just now, you guys are watching the show here. Faced with several people's questions, the director coughed, I never said guessing the name of the movie. It started because of your own inexplicability. I didn't have time to stop. Then why don't we tell us to learn dance? The director group pushed the pot naturally. I was interrupted by Zhou Zitong as soon as I was halfway through the conversation. Zhou Zitong received several death stares. The director continued, my prompt is obvious, the music is turned on. Will normal people watch movies with music? Song Jiajia. Don't you find that the music played is the same as the music in the dance video? The director pushed the pot clean. Several people. Seeing a few people fall into the raging answering session, God knows how much suffocation from the director to the staff did not laugh. Many people laughed with trembling shoulders, and these people were immersed in their own world. The director has already thought that after the show is broadcast, the absolutely full screen will be ha 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 ha. Send one person from each group. The director suppressed his smile and tried to strain his face. Comparing to what? I didn't even see how to dance. Song Jiajia was playing it by the director, and now he was unwilling to cooperate, and snorted softly. Unless we watch it for another 10 minutes, we didn't watch it just now. Sister Jiajia is right. Seconded. Wen Xing and Shen brother, you two are talking. Guyanshan wanted to quit the group chat and let him watch it for 24 hours. It is even more impossible to jump in public. Guyan thought deeply. He couldn't help but fall to Lu Wengxing. He knew that Lu Wengxing's work was mainly to shoot magazines, so he asked uncertainly. Can you dance? I have learned a little and have the foundation. Lu Wengxing replied modestly. Guyanshan's brows furrowed slightly, saying that would not fall into his ears. If Lu Wengxing sang and skipped the pass, he should be put into the men's team instead of receiving so many magazine endorsements. Others don't know about Lu Wengxing, but they can listen to him saying that they have learned a little bit, and then they feel relieved. I just learned a little bit, so the few eyes I looked at just now were for nothing. Director, don't let us watch, we can't jump out of a single action. Song Jiajia insisted to watch for a few more minutes, because her teammate Wen Miao is a member of the women's team and can definitely dance better than the people present. Anyway, as long as one person in each group is on the court, it is absolutely no problem for her to challenge Wen Miao. Song Jiajia spent a few minutes with the director, and finally got 5 minutes of viewing time. Contentedly pulling Wen Miao to the front, Li Xiangming was unwilling to show weakness. He gave Zhou Zitong a push. Hurry up and look carefully, I don't know how to dance. I don't know how to jump either. Seeing the two pushing around, Lu Wengxing's eyes turned to Guyanshan. Why are you looking at me? Guyanshan looked wary, with obvious rejection. After thinking about it, he felt that he could not and should not force Lu Wengxing Guyan slowed his tone and gave a comforting voice. It's okay, you just jump randomly, even if you don't help the guests, it doesn't mean you will lose. With Guyanshan's comfort, Lu Wengxing was a bit funny, and didn't say anything. Since the reward is far from enough, let's add to the feelings of the protagonist. Of course, Lu Wengxing did not intend to participate in the relationship, and the development of the relationship still has to go with the flow. He doesn't do more than anything, and doesn't intend to be an assist, he only does what he can. For example, if you win this game, take Wen Yu over, so that the protagonist can have more contact with offenses and receivers. As for how the relationship between the two develops, it has nothing to do with Lu Wengxing. His original intention is to keep a distance from the two and retreat when the variety show is over. 5 minutes. Song Jiajia began to play rogues and stopped the staff to prevent them from turning off the TV. Does Wen Miao remember it? Wen Miao was entrusted with an important task, and he was a little flustered. Great, probably. It's okay, you can. Song Jiajia patted Wen Miao on the shoulder. Just rest assured, Li Xiangming and Zhou Zitong can't dance at all. Come on. Crush them with your dancing posture. Wen Miao. Wen Miao was the first to play, and the music started. She quickly recalled the dance just now, and the opening was full of momentum. Song Jiajia's eyes widened. If it weren't for the applause that would disrupt Wen Miao's movements, she wanted to stand up and cheer. Wow! Handsome! For 2.5 minutes of the dance, Wen Miao's movements were as smooth as water, jumping easily to 40 seconds. The previous actions are not difficult, and there are a lot of repetitions, just the hothouse dance. For Wen Miao who has stage experience, it is not difficult to learn. Li Xiangming didn't know anything about dance. He only felt that Wen Miao could learn so quickly in just a few minutes, which is really amazing. Are we still dancing? The outcome is clear. That won't work, even if the outcome is determined, we still have to stick to the match. The director immediately cut off their idea of abandoning the game. Zhou Zitong was helpless, and was forced to jump up and down a few times, except for the first two movements, none of the latter could keep up. When Zhou Zitong finished the dance, Song Jiajia smiled without restraint at all. Ha 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 ha, I said we will definitely win. Next. Several people's eyes fell on Guyanchen and Lu Wengxing. Guyan took a step back in silence and made a please gesture to show his gentlemanly demeanor. It's going, music. The director's voice fell, Lu Wengxing stepped forward, and the music poured out. Wow! What? The opening action caused Song Jiajia and Wen Miao to scream again and again, great momentum. Don't believe it. It's just superficial skills, you see that he can remember a few moves. Lu Wengxing followed the beat, handsome and clean. The other annoyed people couldn't sit still, and stood up one after another. The action freezes and ends. Even if there is no light, Lu Wengxing is tall and long in legs. He is very good at poses because of his graphic model experience and dancing foundation. A wink even looks at the director team. Lu Wengxing accurately stepped on the beat in every action, the action was standard, and he finish. All. Land. Jump. Finish. Up. Several people recovered from the shock, looked at Lu Wengxing sadly, cursing in their hearts. What did Lu Wengxing just say? Learned a little. A few people are crazy, this can be called learning a little. You touch your conscience and say it again. Lu Wengxing blinked, and looked at Song Jiajia helplessly. He only practiced dance with Wei Ziyi for several months after signing in Mang Orange Entertainment. Teacher MK also praised his ability to imitate and learned quickly. But later, Wang Manra went to take up the endorsement and shoot a print advertisement, and he never took dance lessons. Lu Wengxing thinks that he probably has a strong physical memory, plus some basic skills, it is completely lucky to be better than Wen Miao. While Wen Miao was still struggling to memorize his actions, Lu Wengxing had already practiced it several times in his mind. Song Jiajia didn't listen to his explanation, and stood aside with his arms humming. Lu Wengxing, I must tell you a story. There used to be a scumbag. He asked Swiba how he was doing in the midterm exam. Swiba answered mediocrely. The scumbag was happy because he did well in the exam. When the scumbag showed a score of 95 points with joy, the Swiba in the front row opened a 149 point paper. Lu Wengxing. Guyan couldn't help but secretly agree with him. When Lu Wengxing looked at him just now, he was still a little bit sad. After all, he didn't want to dance, and he pushed the heavy duty of dancing to Lu Wengxing. Result? Oh, liar. Obviously professional. When seeing, which boy group are you member, haven't you debuted yet? No wonder Wen Miao thinks that way. Although there are no complicated movements in this dance, he can completely jump off in just a few minutes. He can't do it without basic skills. Lu Wengxing looks good, and he is not very old. The probability is a member of the men's team who has not debuted. Apart from Guyanchen, several others also thought so. Regardless of Wen Miao or Song Jiajia, the first time they saw Lu Wengxing, they were amazed by his appearance. When Lu Wengxing debuted, they would definitely have a place in the entertainment industry. However, Lu Wengxing denied their conjecture. I'm not a member of the men's team. Lu Wengxing heard other people asking this more than once, and was accustomed to it. I have already made my debut, and most of my work focuses on endorsements and graphic shooting. This is the first time I have been on the screen. Song Jiajia looked at Lu Wengxing in surprise. Is Lu Wengxing's agent blind? Such a good-looking look, only to take plain photos? Everyone knows that photos can be refined, as long as the facial features are correct, the post-modification will be a peerless beauty. But Liu Wengxing's face is completely refined and advanced, only shooting print ads? This is not a waste. She rejoiced to pat Liu Wengxing's shoulder. Fortunately, brother Shen Huiyan's Hizu, it is a pity that you don't look on the screen. Liu Wengxing didn't take it seriously, and smiled and said, then I have to thank Mr. Gu. Otherwise, it would be a pity to miss the opportunity to go to a variety show with Sister Jiajia. Thank you too, stop the business blowing each other, and think about us who are still hungry. Li Xiongming's stomach yelled a few times in response, and it seemed that he was really hungry. Director, the game is over, can I go to dinner? Thanks for your hard work today. Now let the driver of the program group take you to the nearest food court for dinner. On the way back, Song Jiajia still felt incredible. The director team didn't make any small moves. You look regrettable. Li Xiangming didn't understand Song Jiajia's brain circuit very well. Young people, don't you rarely go to variety shows? Song Jiajia said in the voice of someone who came over, you will know the sinisterness of the director group when you get into the hole a few times. Liu Wengxing still agrees with Song Jiajia. He has never been in a variety show before, but that doesn't mean that he has never watched a variety show. In order to bow the audience's attention, the director team often does nothing. It is commonplace to pit the guests. The audience is happy to watch, and the ratings have gone up. Anyway, 1,000 layers of routines will fall into the next when you dodge one pit. What are you thinking about? Liu Wengxing walked, suddenly there were more people beside him, he looked sideways, Wen Yu didn't know when he walked beside him. Nothing. We have not spoken with the company for so long. I thought I would have a chance to talk to you tonight, but I didn't expect that the director team would not give this opportunity. Wen Yu said with a little regret. A trace of surprise flashed in Liu Wengxing's eyes. He thought that Wen Yu chose to live with him because he could only choose him. Unexpectedly, Wen Yu had this idea from the beginning. Liu Wengxing couldn't say how he felt, but he didn't want to have too much contact with Wen Yu, not only because Wen Yu was the protagonist, but also because he couldn't explain it himself. When he raised his head again, Liu Wengxing saw his figure in Wen Yu's clear eyes, and there was an unknown light in the depths of his eyes. Liu Wengxing suddenly felt his heart beat suddenly, as if something flashed by, so fast that he couldn't catch it. His head was dizzy, and he subconsciously wanted to stay away from Wen Yu. It's no wonder that Liu Wengxing is wary, the entertainment circle goes round, and Wen Yu is the protagonist of this world, and he is also the person who indirectly led to the tragic ending of Liu Wengxing. Even if Liu Wengxing knew that it was not Wen Yu who caused the bleak end of Liu Wengxing, but the jealous self. But Liu Wengxing still didn't want to contact Wen Yu, he was not a person who would wrong him, so he should stay away if he doesn't want to contact him. Probably because Liu Wengxing was too indifferent, Wen Yu didn't continue to question, and walked a few steps behind with Zhou Zitong. Liu Wengxing took out his mobile phone from his pocket and clicked on WeChat. The top message was from his younger brother Xiechin Fei. Ms. Liu said you were on a variety show, or were you with Guyanshan? Whom? Did you do well in the exam? When did I fail the exam? My fault, shouldn't question our university god. When will you go home? Waiting for you. Liu Wengxing has terminated the contract with Mang Orange Entertainment, and will not have any other work except this variety show. He was not busy, but he took advantage of the winter vacation to receive a few business papers. Xiechin Fei has to stay in school to make up classes at the end of his third year of high school this year. Wengxing Liu has calculated the time. It is expected that Xiechin Fei will be on vacation after finishing the draft, and the two will just be able to go home together. Liu Wengxing's plan was perfect, but Xiechin Fei could guess his intentions at once. Have you accepted the drawing again? No. Liu Wengxing typed with one hand, denying quickly. X. How many photos did you take? X. Without telling the truth, I will let Ms. Lu come to question you. Et 3 sheets. Lu Wengxing can only tell the truth, his eyes had been injured before, and he didn't want his family to know. But at the time he was wrapped in gauze and couldn't see. He answered Ms. Lu's video call by mistake and was immediately arrested. Ms. Lu was so frightened by Lu Wengxing that she rushed to the hospital to see her overnight. After that, Ms. Lu was very concerned about Lu Wengxing's eyes, and from time to time she told him not to overuse her eyes. After the WeChat is sent, the dialog box displays the other party is typing. Lu Wengxing lowered his head and glanced, and then typed the word secret. Before sending it out, his arm was pulled by someone. Be careful. Lu Wengxing hadn't reacted yet, and fell into a warm embrace in the next instant. When he looked up, the car that almost hit him had already drove away quickly, leaving only the whistling wind. Don't look at your phone when crossing the street. Gu Yan's deep voice sounded in Lu Wengxing's ears, and a warm breath was poured into his ears. Lu Wengxing sighed, took a step back and thanked Gu Yan deeply. Thank you, Teacher Gu. Lu Wengxing's breath is not stable, and a bit of coolness oozes afterwards. I just feel that this scene seems to have been experienced, but after thinking it carefully, I can't remember anything. Scared me. I was scared too. It was really dangerous just now. Fortunately, Brother Shen reacted quickly. Some drivers pass the zebra crossing without the awareness of slowing down. This is a violation of traffic rules. But Wengxing is not doing the right thing. Even on the zebra crossing, you can't play with your mobile phone. The situation like the one just now is too dangerous. Not only was Lu Wengxing terrified, but the scene just now shocked everyone present, but fortunately, nothing happened. I'm sorry. There was no blood on Lu Wengxing's face, and his heart was beating rapidly. Under the street lamp, his face was extremely pale, because he was so close. Gu Yanchen could even see the fine sweat from Lu Wengxing's forehead. Being startled, Gu Yanchen didn't hesitate much. When he reacted, his hand was already on Lu Wengxing's shoulder, and his low tone was a little soothing. Never mind. The posture of the two seemed a little intimate. Lu Wengxing's breath was lingering with a faint woody fragrance, and the beating heart gradually calmed down. After returning to the homestay, several people returned to their rooms with their suitcases. Lu Wengxing hung up the clothes in the suitcase and specially reserved the other half for Gu Yanchen. After finishing almost everything, Gu Yanchen asked him, "Do you wash it first, or should I wash it first? There is only one bathroom, and the two have to take turns to wash." But when Gu Yanchen asked this sentence, he felt strange again. But at this moment, Gu Yan was not thinking about it, his gaze fell on Lu Wengxing's pale face. On the way back, Lu Wengxing's mood was not very good. Gu Yanchen was also not incomprehensible. After the danger, he felt that fear was normal. He just felt that Lu Wengxing seemed to be more than just frightened. Perhaps even Lu Wengxing himself didn't realize how bad his face was, so Gu Yanchen raised his eyes and glanced at him again, and said, "You wash it first." "Just now, thank you." Lu Wengxing's clear eyes stared at Gu Yanchen, revealing a little unknowingly indifferent and alienated. It's like a hedgehog that has been frightened or threatened. Gu Yanchen frowned unconsciously. It is understandable that Lu Wengxing was in a bad mood, but why he was in a bad mood even with him? It's enough to say thank you once. Go take a shower first. Lu Wengxing did not push off, walked into the bathroom with his clothes, and looked at the closed bathroom door. Gu Yan's thoughts returned to the time when he first met Lu Wengxing. Lu Wengxing at that time also had an indifferent expression, which was different from the current estrangement. There was laziness all over his body, and there was a bit of cunning and publicity hidden in his beautiful eyes. I don't know who Lu Wengxing is chatting with, and even spread rumors that he is choosing a concubine. Which concubine can he choose? He didn't explore Lu Wengxing's meaning, and he didn't pay attention to it. There were so many people discussing him, it was impossible to pursue everything. What surprised Guyan was that after Liu Wengxing was smashed, he could calmly pretend that nothing happened, and even greet him without embarrassment. Guyanchen glanced at him in the mirror, but didn't intend to pay any attention, only that Liu Wengxing had a thick-skinned face. However, Liu Wengxing, who was regarded as a cheeky by him, didn't get close to him like other people did, apologized, and suddenly turned and left. Guyanchen immediately felt so angry and funny, and somehow he couldn't hold it back, and choked on Liu Wengxing. The tone is not good, Liu Wengxing probably didn't hear it, and he turned around and walked in with such carelessness. The look and attitude seemed like a lord who was patrolling his own territory. It's just that the chosen location is not right. Guyanchen's thoughts drifted farther and farther, until the bathroom door was knocked. What's wrong? I forgot to take the bath towel. Liu Wengxing's voice came from the closed bathroom, a little embarrassed. Where to put it? In the closet, I hung up. Guyanchen himself didn't notice. When he heard Liu Wengxing's tone normal, his hanging heart dropped a little. He opened the closet, a pink and tender bath towel hit the bottom of Guyanchen's eyes, and the gesture of reaching out immediately froze. Have you seen it? Liu Wengxing's voice came. The weather in January was still very cold. Thinking that Liu Wengxing would catch a cold after staying in the bathroom for a long time, Guyanchen put away the shocked emotions, grabbed the towel and walked to the bathroom door and knocked on the door. The bathroom door was pulled open from the inside, revealing a seam. A slender, white arm stretched out and grabbed it twice in midair. Guyanchen immediately put the bath towel on Liu Wengxing's hand and turned away. Bathroom. Liu Wengxing closed the door, and after seeing the pink bath towel that Guyanchen handed him, a blush climbed on Liu Wengxing's ears. The low mood was swept away, and he was instantly replaced by shame and annoyance. Guyanchen must have seen it. Liu Wengxing is a bit irritable, Guyanchen shouldn't mistake him for some strange habit, right? His pink bath towel was bought by his roommates, a set of 4 colors. When Liu Wengxing got it, the roommates had all selected, leaving only this pink bath towel. In order not to let Liu Wengxing and herself grab the bath towels, the roommates coaxed and even said the nonsense that a real man needs to be tender and tender. Seeing the roommates holding the bath towels in their hands tightly one by one, looking like they were afraid of being taken away by Liu Wengxing smiled contemptuously, disdained to fight with them. Isn't it just pink and tender? Real men are not afraid. Yesterday, Liu Wengxing was anxious to pack his luggage, took a folded bath towel and hurriedly packed it into his suitcase. Now I regret it very much. Liu Wengxing never expected that after laughing at Wei Ziyi for not bringing toilet paper, he also made such a low-level mistake. If he was given another chance, he would not make fun of Wei Ziyi. Liu Wengxing sighed. It is not terrible to have a matte and tender bath towel. The terrible thing is that someone discovers that she owns a matte and tender bath towel, and it is because she prompted the other party to discover it. Liu Wengxing. The bath towel in his hand suddenly became a bit hot. Before opening the bathroom door, Liu Wengxing was still immersed in does Guyanchen think he has any strange hobbies? The 2 questions of and how to kill Guyan deeply. All right. Guyan leaned deeply on the sofa, raised his eyelids and looked at Liu Wengxing. He was watching Liu Wengxing, and the embarrassment just came to his mind again. He and Guyanchen are not very familiar either, and the explanation seems abrupt. Thinking about it, Liu Wengxing simply broke the jar and didn't bother to explain it. Has anyone ruled that men can't use pink bath towels? He just likes using matte and tender, can't he? Liu Wengxing succeeded in persuading himself, and with a blank face, he nodded indifferently. Guyan was keenly aware that Liu Wengxing was angry, but he didn't understand what Liu Wengxing was angry with. Although Liu Wengxing's face was strained, the vividness in his eyes could not be hidden. Guyanchen thought it was a little funny, it seemed quite magical to be able to make herself angry. Sure enough, it was right to let Lu Wengxing take a bath first. After washing, they were all boiled with blood and emotions, even though they were angry. Lu Wengxing put on a look that he didn't want to care about others. Gu Yunshan didn't intend to provoke him, and walked into the bathroom with his own clothes. After he came out of the bathroom, Lu Wengxing was already lying down. Gu Yunshan, who originally wanted to take out his mobile phone to play a game of raising cubs, had to give up. He pinched the quilt for Lu Wengxing, turned and walked to the other bed, opened the quilt and lay in. Squeak! The tires rubbed the ground and made a sharp and harsh sound, followed by a dull crash. A 5 or 6-year-old boy stood there blankly, his eyes were out of focus, his ears buzzed, and his violently beating heart disturbed his perception of the outside world. The boy hadn't realized what was going on, and the sound of the engine started again. Call! The black car drove up quickly, grazing the boy's side, and the boy staggered and fell to the ground. Before he could stand up, the black car turned a corner and rushed towards him again. The heart contracted violently, even breathing became difficult, watching the car speeding. Lu Wengxing! Well, who is calling him? Lu Wengxing, wake up! Lu Wengxing opened his eyelids with difficulty, and a vague face slammed into his eyes. Lu Wengxing, are you okay? The cold back of his hand was pressed against Lu Wengxing's hot forehead. So comfortable. Lu Wengxing squinted his eyes, not wanting the comfortable coolness to slip away from him. He raised his weak and feeble arm, with his hot palm facing down, and pressed it on the other cold palm, with both palms overlapping. The coolness made Lu Wengxing more awake. He tried hard to identify the person in front of him, with deep eyes, tall nose and thin lips. He is a good-looking man. Lu Wengxing feels a bit familiar. Gu Yunshan. It's me. The man's voice was low, grabbing Lu Wengxing's outstretched hand, and stuffing it back into the quilt. Lu Wengxing, you have a fever. Gu Yunshan had a dream, in which many chickens were crowing. With stereo surround sound effects, his brain was sore that he opened his eyes and saw the little culprit rooster on the ground. The little rooster raised its arrogant neck and crowed while running with its short legs. The sound was loud, and the roof was almost overturned. Then I went to see the owner of the little rooster, curled up in the shape of a caterpillar, with only half of his chestnut head exposed. Unbearable. Gu Yunshan lifted the quilt and got out of the bed to catch a chicken. Unexpectedly, the little had short legs and ran very fast. He sneaked into the bathroom inadvertently and was captured on the spot by Gu Yunshan, who was chasing into the bathroom. After turning off the alarm, Gu Yunshan suddenly felt that the whole world was quiet. He carried the coxcomb, threw the little rooster on Lu Wengxing's bedside table, and glanced at Lu Wengxing, who was sleeping so soundly, only to realize that something was wrong. I saw that the person on the bed had red cheeks and frowned brows, as if breathing was difficult. Gu Yunshan reached out and pushed Lu Wengxing, trying to wake him up, but was scalded by the temperature of Lu Wengxing's body and touched it. Lu Wengxing's forehead was really feverish. Would you like some water? Lu Wengxing's throat was dry with smoke, and he licked his dry lips. He wanted to drink water a little bit, but he asked Gu Yunshan to pour him water, but he didn't dare to take it. Just thinking about it, the glass filled with water was handed to his eyes. Lu Wengxing thought in his heart not dare to take it for him with honest hands. After taking a few slurs, he was relieved, and thanked him quietly. He has a hoarse voice and a heavy nasal voice. He probably has a bad cold. Talk to the director team. If it doesn't work, go to the hospital to hang up some water. Lu Wengxing firmly refused. He didn't want to get the smell of disinfectant. His groggy head shook like a rattle. Then you will sleep again. Lu Wengxing wanted to nod, but worried that he might have missed the shooting. The main reason is that the program group paid a lot of money, and it was about to catch up with his half-year income. Lu Wengxing was embarrassed to take the money and still lie in bed. He heard from Wei Ziyi before that many undisclosed little stars don't get any money on variety shows. It is purely to have a chance to show his face, but also the possibility of being replaced at any time. In this comparison, Liu Wengxing felt that the program group he encountered was still very conscientious, and he should get up and continue working. Gu Yunshan didn't give Liu Wengxing a chance to get out of bed, so he took away the glass in his hand. "You lie down, I'll talk to the director team." Wenjia. Wen Zheng's cold face was reflected in the mirror. He looked at himself up and down, and walked out of the room after making sure that he was dressed neatly. When closing the door, he noticed that the door of the next room was opened a crack. Wen Zheng didn't think much, pushed the door and walked in. Ji Yuan stood in front of the desk near the balcony, carefully wiping the photo frame. "Mom! Xiao Zheng!" Ji Yuan turned around and stopped at Wen Zheng's suit. "I want to go to the company on weekends." "Well, something is wrong." Wen Zheng stepped forward and took the cloth and photo frame in Ji Yuan's hand. "I'll do it." On the freeze frame photo of his gaze, the sharp eyebrows gradually softened. The picture shows a 4 or 5-year-old child with a big trophy in his arms, a bright smile on his face, and his eyes gleaming like stars. This photo was taken when my younger brother participated in the children's street dance competition. Wen Zheng still remembers the appearance of his younger brother holding the trophy and rushing to him to ask for praise. "Brother, I won the championship, is it amazing?" Ji Yuan looked at the boy in the photo, her tender eyes showing deep miss. "I will go to City G tomorrow." Ji Yuan's eyes lighted, and then he responded in a low voice. "I have spoken with the family in City G. They said that the child is just 20 years old this year, the same age as Xing Xing. And Wen Zheng paused, as if he was calming the emotions in his heart. "The police station has a record. He and Xing Xing reported missing on the same day." Ji Yuan raised his head abruptly, his pupils were slightly enlarged, and he stretched out his hand to cover his mouth, resisting the urge to cry. Wen Zheng handed the photo frame to Ji Yuan and patted her on the shoulder comfortingly. "I haven't seen the photo yet, so I'm not sure he is the star, but even if it isn't, he should have seen the stars." When Liu Wengxing woke up, it was almost noon, and the fever had subsided, but his throat was very hoarse, and his cough was aggravated. The winter in City G is very cold, and there is a temperature difference of more than 10 degrees between City C, where Liu Wengxing lives. The coat that Liu Wengxing wore yesterday was not too thick. Maybe he caught a cold when he went out for dinner last night. Others have gone out to do missions, and now Liu Wengxing is alone. Thinking of adding friends with Gu Yunshan in the morning, Liu Wengxing picked up the phone and sent Gu Yunshan a WeChat. "Et, where are you?" "Cinema. There are cold medicine and anti-fever medicine on the table." Liu Wengxing turned his head and looked. There was a sticky note on the box stating what medicine it was, and it should be the medicine prepared by the program team. "Et, thank you, Teacher Gu." After Liu Wengxing finished posting, he posted a picture of a little penguin bowing. "Et, what is today's task?" "Cinema conductor." "Almost. Just can't be recognized." "Et. Resident guests like Gu Yunshan, Song Jiajia, and Li Xiangming, who are hotly searched, don't want to be recognized. If it is too conspicuous to be assigned to the ticket office and beverage counter, it is difficult not to be recognized when you have to communicate with customers. But if it is the ticket inspector at the entrance of the theater, he doesn't need to talk much, and he can hide it for a long time." Liu Wengxing felt that he had taken Wen Yu over yesterday too right, and now Gu Yunshan can still team up with Wen Yu. "Et, what kind of work is arranged for you?" "Sell popcorn. Today is the weekend, and the cinema has a lot of visitors." Wengxing Liu couldn't help much. After thinking about it, he sent Gu Yunshan an emoticon pack of "Come on duck." "Well, the spirit is with Gu Yanshen." Liu Wengxing's cold didn't heal even after the show was recorded, and it became more serious. Later, he went to catch a bit. Physical problems can't be controlled by oneself, and the director group expressed their understanding, but it was a bit regrettable. On the first night in G City, the director team was very optimistic about Liu Wengxing. He looked good and had a good sense of variety, but he didn't know how to get shots for himself. I thought that following Gu Yunshan's task the next day, I should be able to earn a lot of shots. As a result, the sudden cold couldn't even participate in the recording. It's okay, go back and raise it well, and wait for your second return. Before leaving, Song Jiajia deliberately separated from Liu Wengxing Dao. When he caught a glimpse of Gu Yunshan behind him, he asked quietly, "Why don't we team up for the second period?" Before Wengxing Liu said a word, Gu Yunshan pulled the person back, with an obvious refusal. Song Jiajia didn't give up. "Don't you think that the exchange of teammates is actually very topical? I think the audience will like it very much." Gu Yunshan naturally didn't agree. Song Jiajia was just playing around. She and Wen Miao were doing pretty well, but seeing Gu Yunshan always expressionless, she couldn't help but harass him. Song Jiajia and Liu Wengxing said a few words, and pushed the suitcase to leave at the urging of the assistant. Gu Yunshan was not in a hurry to leave either. He will have an announcement tomorrow that City G. The assistant has already booked a hotel near his workplace for him. He waited for the nanny car to arrive before leaving. When Yu and Liu Wengxing left together, both of them returned to City C, and the ticket that the assistant helped Wen Yu booked happened to be at the same point as Liu Wengxing. It's just that Wen Yu is a first-class position, and Liu Wengxing is in economy class. Help you upgrade to first class? It's more comfortable than sitting in economy class. It's not good for you to be sick, and it's uncomfortable to sit on the plane for a long time. No thanks. When seeing, you can listen to Brother Yu. If you are in economy class, we will not be able to take care of you when you are in economy class. Brother Yu is very worried about you. Thank you for your concern, but really not necessary. Liu Wengxing was sick with a cold, and it had nothing to do with whether he was in first class or economy class. For him, it was only a 3-hour flight. Moreover, Xiechin Fei will come to pick up the plane, and Liu Wengxing does not want his family to contact Wen Yu. After passing the security check, Wen Yu went to the VIP lounge. Liu Wengxing sat in the lounge chair in the lobby and waited for the flight, bowing his head to send a message to Xiechin Fei. It was already 8:30 in the evening when Liu Wengxing got off the plane. Xiechin Fei was carrying a cup of milk tea, and when he saw Liu Wengxing, he passed the milk tea to him. "Give. Is it cold outside? The wind is pretty big, wear a scarf." Xiechin Fei took out a grey scarf from the bag and wrapped it tightly on Liu Wengxing. Xiechin Fei didn't think it was enough, and put the hat on Liu Wengxing's head again. "Okay. Let's go out." The hat was deliberately lowered by Xiechin Fei to withstand the cold wind outside. Liu Wengxing's mouth and nose were buried in the scarf, revealing only a pair of clear eyes. "How do you want me to drink milk tea? Who said it was for you? This is what I want to drink. I will lend you to warm your hands first." Liu Wengxing. In the end, Liu Wengxing did not drink a bite. Xiechin Fei drank milk tea and chewed pearls in front of him. "Finally, I didn't forget to stab him. People who are sick are not eligible to drink milk tea." On the other side, Gu Yunshan, who had arrived at the hotel, received Song Jiajia's WeChat. "Song Jianjian, the director team wants us to give each other gifts in the second phase, do you know?" "Have no idea Song Jianjian, I want to prepare gifts for everyone, what do you want?" "Song Jianjian, since you are giving gifts, of course you have to give them what suits the other party's wishes." "Casual Song Jianjian, you are really a straight man." "Song Jianjian, you didn't hear it, am I waiting for you to ask me what do I want?" Then, Song Jiajia sent another screenshot, which was a screenshot of the chat with Liu Wengxing. The same opening remarks. "Song Jianjian, the director team wants us to give each other gifts in the second phase, do you know? Haven't heard of it yet. Song Jianjian is to prepare gifts for everyone. What do you want?" I like it as long as it is given by Jiajia. Does Jiajia have something that I particularly like?" Gu Yunshan typed blankly after reading it. What do you want? Song Jian hello, perfunctory. Song Jian okay, just kidding. Song Jian I just want to ask you, do you know what Wen Xing likes? Gu Yunshan was even more inexplicable after reading it. How could he know what Lu Wengxing liked? Gu Yunshan typed I don't know, and his finger rested on the send button for a while. Somehow he remembered Lu Wengxing's pink bath towel. The text in the dialog box was deleted, and he retyped 2 words. Pink? Song Jiajia ignored Gu Yunshan's last question mark and reported the situation to others with joy. Song Jian Wen Xing likes pink, we all send fans. After sending it to Wen Miao, Song Jiajia copied and pasted it to Li Xiangming and Zhou Zitong. Song Jian Wen Xing likes pink, we all send fans. After the post, Song Jiajia suddenly felt that she was hiding her merit and fame, and Lu Wengxing would definitely be very happy when we meet in the next issue. At this moment, Lu Wengxing, who had already returned to the dormitory, did not know that he would receive several surprises. After the scheduled broadcast time of Weekend Without Limits, the 3 fans began to squat early. Many audiences who love watching variety shows have been looking forward to it for a long time. Variety shows have become their best choice for leisure and relaxation after work or study. Before the show started, the show introduced today's 3 guests. When it comes to their idols, fans have raised the barrage to give a lot of attention. Then, all kinds of confession and rainbow fart occupy the screen densely. After introducing Gu Yunshan, a few straightforward remarks from old fans were interspersed in rainbow fart. It's my deep brother. Noodles are coming soon. A deep face to be that I can fight. Fuck me crying at close range. Shen Brothers' first variety show. Don't look at Brother Shen's coldness and calmness, he is still a real arrogant. Speaking of this, the fans have to give a deep face, although I guess Shen Brother may not have any sense of variety. But don't be unable to tell. Yes, don't say it, Brother Shen will peek at the screen. This is the first show of a deep variety show. Rainbow farts must be enough. The new fan would like to ask, why can't I say? Shen Ji Tseo Jiao SZD, obviously is a powerful actor, in a certain way idols are very burdened. As soon as Lu Wengxing opened the video, he saw several barrage screens with small crowns passing by. This is a unique logo for premium members of Bring Blin Video. The bullet screen fonts sent are one size larger than ordinary bullet screens, the colors are darkened and brightened, and the sliding speed slows down, making it the most conspicuous among many bullet screens. In fact, Lu Wengxing didn't have much contact with Gu Yunshan. On the first night of recording a variety show, the two did not communicate in private. During the 2-day recording on the weekend, Lu Wengxing did not even show his face. But even so, Lu Wengxing agrees with this barrage. Gu Yunshan's idol burden is quite heavy, and he himself doesn't seem to realize this. When he noticed that Gu Yunshan refused to dance, Lu Wengxing guessed that Gu Yunshan was 80% incapable of dancing, unlike Zhou Zitong and Li Xiangming, who also did not know how to dance. The 2 people were reluctant because they thought they would lose and didn't want to be compared. Gu Yunshan is full of resistance to dancing. The program began to air, and the picture was the scenery of City G after the heavy snowfall, and then it was transferred to a small 2-story single-family homestay. Then there is the scene of Song Jiajia sitting on the sofa drinking water. Confession Song Jiajia, she is really a fairy. Stop in front. I am also Jiajia from the sister fan, the sister is really beautiful. Is the girl next to me a teammate chosen by Da Magia? Science, Wen Miao, a female member of NEW4, sings well. The door is open. Is it my brother? The screen turned to the gate, the photographer didn't shoot people directly, the lens was aimed at the cold green suitcase. It's not Li Xiangming, he wouldn't use such an angry suitcase luggage, woman, who do you talk about? In case it is Guyanshan manual dog head impossible, we don't know how to use suitcases with bags turning to the side. The camera captured the long legs wearing 9-point slacks, and the bullet screen instantly made a sound. In front, you made my eyes noisy long legs. Licking the screen. Sucking hello everyone, I'm brothers Jean's legs are so straight. Thinner than me, crying. Although, G City is very cold, I feel cold across the screen. The door was opened, and the screen switched to the moment Song Jiajia raised his eyes. Not only Song Jiajia's fans, but the other audiences were in madness. The moment Jiajia raised her eyes, Oslo too beautiful, too beautiful, too beautiful. The screen is full of rainbow farts, and the picture is strictly covered. The next second the camera moves with Song Jiajia's gaze and falls on Lu Wengxing's body. It is shot from the leg up. The coat is a turtleneck sweater. The picture stops. In Lu Wengxing's chin. Hello. It was Song Jiajia's voice. Hello, Sister Jiajia, I'm Lu Wengxing, Teacher Gu's partner. Sounds so good. Little brother's voice is so good. Ah, this is the best little receiver I have ever heard. Lid the pot to the sister in front. Actually, I think the sound can also be used. Guyanshan expresses dissatisfaction. Wait, this is a deep partner. I don't care, Shen Shen is the general attack of the entertainment industry. Is the picture still? I'm ready to take a screenshot, just show me a chin. GKD, don't stop here. This good sounding biglugged little brother must be very handsome. The madness of the barrage brushing made the show a lot of suspense. After the few people present knew each other, the cameraman finally gave Lu Wengxing a chance to show up, and then the barrage army swept in. Eyelashes. Are these eyelashes real? Good skin. So white. The eyes look good. The nose looks good. The lips look good too. Here I suggest that the previous students go back to elementary school and retake the Chinese class. He hasn't made his debut yet. So good looking? Already debuted, it is recommended to make good use of beta search if you don't know. The searched back said, is this encyclopedia the same? Just a few words, the photo is so blurry that I think it's a mosaic. My deep vision is amazing. I gave Shen Shen and Xing a partner name, and the combination of looks is in charge, and I don't accept any rebuttals. Then Guyanshan and Wen Yu came in one after another, said hello and chatted with each other for a few words, and the program team began to engage in things. When they heard that they were about to check their suitcases, the camera specially featured several artists. When Li Xiangming took out the tennis ball, the barrage was all ha 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 ha, followed by Lu Wengxing's little cock. The barrage had the same reaction as several other artists. There is such an alarm clock? I also know for the first time. The alarm clock is perfect. Song Jiajia's expression is cracked. God, close the door tightly, don't let Lu Wengxing's little sneak in. Ha 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 ha. Has anyone noticed Guyanshan's expression? I laughed. Guyanshan, oh, naive. When the little ran out of sight, the dialogue that the director team asked the staff to chase was also recorded, and the barrage was ha 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 ha. The clip in which Guyanshan took the poster by mistake was cut off by the director team, who had a strong desire to survive. The topic was very big, but it was also easy to provoke gossip to the media. After weighing the pros and cons, the director team asked the director to cut off this paragraph later. The audience only saw Guyanshan opening the first suitcase. There was no special surprise. The director team had not announced the mission yet. A few people gathered to chat. Guyan sat in the middle with a blank face. When no one was paying attention to him, he secretly poked and grabbed the that was placed on the table. Brother Shen has suffered from the loss of not being in a variety show. Doesn't he know that cameras are everywhere? Even Brother Shen can't escape the law of true fragrance. Ha 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 ha. Everyone, don't cut deep brother's emoticon, no matter how funny it is. I can't help but I can secretly share in the fan group, don't put it on the internet, let alone be seen deeply. When Lu Wengxing saw this barrage, he curiously asked why. Shen brother idol has a heavy burden. I have seen celebrities spend money to withdraw the hot search of gossip. The first time I know that the hot search of the can withdraw the emoji ha 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 ha, I can still click in 1 second, but it will be gone after 1 second? Lu Wengxing. As expected of Gu Yunshan, Lu Wengxing felt that he still underestimated Gu Yunshan's idol baggage. In contrast, Lu Wengxing doesn't care, but he hasn't been on the screen. Removed. The post-editing divided the face into two. On the one hand, several artists were vying to guess the name of the movie, and on the other hand, the reaction after hearing the director announced the real mission. The two were compared, and the barrage laughed most happily. Lu Wengxing did not expect that after the show was broadcast, he was on the hot search for the undifficult house dance. The reason for the hot search was not the dance that Lu Wengxing danced, but Lu Wengxing's. One sentence. Number clicking in is the video of Lu Wengxing finishing a dance in a few minutes and restoring the entire dance movement. Some people also cut the dialogue between Lu Wengxing and Gu Yunshan into a moving picture. Can you dance? Study over 100 million points. I have learned a little bit from others vs. I have learned a little bit. Is this the difference between Swiba and Suezwo? This little brother is familiar. It seems that the little brother who danced the street dance last time, is he a boy group that hasn't debuted yet? What are the people in the comment area talking about? Ask for a popular science here. With the help of Lu Wengxing's hot search, the program group also took the opportunity to catch a wave of enthusiasm. Several other artists reposted the video one after another. The little rooster alarm clock with Lu Wengxing. Netizens touched Lu Wengxing's Weibo and commented on Lu Wengxing's previous Weibo, all asking for the same alarm clock. There are also fun topics, from Lu Wengxing's learned over 100 million points, and to let Lu Wengxing take good care of his body. In the second period, we must grab more shots, and the children are almost crying hungry. A few hours later, the hot search most closely related to Lu Wengxing disappeared again inexplicably. Lu Wengxing suddenly remembered the WeChat sent by Wei Ziyi's teammate. How do I feel that this hot search is not suppressed? It seems to have been removed. It's too inexplicable if it doesn't. If it was the hot search that hung on the tail before, Lu Wengxing hadn't noticed any problems, but the first dozen hot searches could not be suddenly suppressed, they could only be removed. Lu Wengxing is now certain that the hot search at the time might have been taken down. Not because of Wei Ziyi and the others, but because of Lu Wengxing. But what makes Lu Wengxing feel strange is that the little alarm clock related to him has not been removed, and the official blog released their first episode of the Back video that is still on the hot search. In the end, Lu Wengxing attributed this to the resistance of the novel world. Because he is cannon fodder? So, stop all opportunities that can give him exposure? If so, why not directly prevent him from participating in this show? There is no solution to this problem for the time being. Soon, it was the second episode of the program recording. The recording location of the second program group is in M City, which is a very suitable city for tourism. Lu Wengxing didn't take many clothes last time. He only took one of the other 2 suitcases. He learned the lesson from last time. Lu Wengxing prepared a few more clothes this time. I also brought a suitcase for daily necessities and gifts for other artists. Director, today is also the group with high scores, which can be helpful to the guests. So what is the first round? Everyone saw the message I sent in the group? Give each other gifts. Lu Wengxing and Gu Yunshan glanced at each other, and suddenly felt that there was a problem in these words. The director did not answer the questions of the game, but first asked everyone to give gifts to each other. Gifts are not given in person, nor can it be written who gave them. They were packed in boxes by the staff and forwarded to the artists. Except for the person who gave the gift, none of them knew what the other party gave. Now everyone has 6 gift boxes in his hand, and I have 5 labels here. The director picked up the labels of different colors in his hand. Whoever of you come to me to pick it up, give you the gifts you receive, according to what you like. Degree classification. I like to post 5 hearts, and I like 3 hearts. Generally, 2 hearts. If you don't like it, only 1 heart is attached. I don't like this cracked heart very much. Everyone was immediately alert and just listened to the director to continue. This time the score is very simple. According to the gift given, the group with the most love can get the help of the supporting guests. Everyone. After recovering from the alternative competition of the director group, the eyes of several artists all fell on Lu Wengxing, as if they were looking at a walking scoring machine. Several self-confident artists have already started to draft their winning speech. Thank you Song Jiajia first. Secondly, thank Lu Wengxing. Finally, thanks for the matte finish. The unobserved Lu Wengxing and Gu Yunshan were discussing in a low voice what gift they had loosened for the other party. They planned to cheat secretly. No matter what the other party gave, first give a 5-hearted praise. Before Gu Yunshan could tell what he gave Lu Wengxing, he heard Lu Wengxing questioning the gazes on the left and right, like a wolf like a tiger, it all depends on what I do. Nothing. Xing, you are very handsome today. What nonsense! The stars are not handsome anymore. Yes, I'm going to list the stars every day. Start chasing the stars today. Don't fight with me, I want to be a true fan of the stars. Lu Wengxing? Do you all watch Wen Xing do? Expect him to open the gift. The director was also bewildered by everyone's hot gaze. Okay, let Wen Xing take it apart first.